You see the weather at kickoff time. It can be really rough in this part of the country in November, but it's very good today. A break for the Seahawks. Big Mike Holmgren says no matter where you play, no matter what the opposition, if you don't bring it emotionally, you're not going to win. He hopes his team is really up after an emotional win over the Raiders. And there is Greg Williams, struggling in his first year as coach of the Bills. At 1-7, he was the D coordinator before coming in here with the Tennessee Titans. The Bills have won the toss and they'll receive to start the game. They're dropping back Sean Bryson and Nate Clements. Clements, a rookie from Ohio State, who's already scored 2 touchdowns this season, even though he's a defensive back. Here's the kick, and this is Nate Clements. Dangerous guy with the ball. He's run back a punt for a touchdown, and now Clements stumbles trying to come wide, and he goes down to the 25-yard line. Tackled by Reggie Tongue. As we look now at Alec Van Pelt coming out to quarterback the Buffalo Bills. Alec has not started a game in almost 4 years. Against Green Bay at the end of the '97 season was his last start, but he's played well when he's come off the bench this year.
Yeah, Don, he has a knack that he's never been in there when he's disappointed. He's always played very well, played within himself, and given the team a chance to play well around him.
He gets the ball away fast. That was the knock on injured quarterback Rob Johnson. Handoff, and the Bills look at LaVon Kirkland come in as the rookie Travis Henry runs the ball, and Kirkland, who's been the MVP on defense, absolutely slams the door. And as we look at the rest of the Bills on offense now, Jennings, a rookie at tackle, Brown, a Pro Bowler, Conity, Hulsey, and Ostrowski across the offensive front in a retooled offensive line. Henry and centers the backs. The best player Moles, and Peerless Price at wide receiver. Miersma, a good pass-catching tight end. Again, they try to run. Henry turning wide. Williams comes up. Henry does break the corner and get upfield for some positive yards before being knocked out of bounds by Anthony Simmons. And there's a penalty marker down, Steve.
Yeah, they hit him a little late. What happens when a back turns up the sideline? Sometimes the linebackers can't come up and stop quick enough, or they don't see him step out of bounds, and the back continues to run hard, and they take that extra shot. And here it cost him a personal foul.
Here's Bernie Kukar, the referee.
Personal fall. 51 defense, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty from
Anthony Simmons, a super fast linebacker, 51.
Yeah, I don't think this was a dirty shot, Don. I just really don't think they realized he had stepped out of bounds. Watch here as he tries to turn the corner. There he's out of bounds, and you see there, right at the last minute, there was no vicious intent there. He knew because he didn't leave his feet, and that's just a bad play. One of the things momentum causes in a game that's so fast.
Early emotion. Anthony was just loaded up, ready to make a hit. Made it a little late. So the Bills get a first down. Van Pelt with a quick drop, gets the ball away nicely and completes it to Peerless Price with his 22nd catch of the year. He's a deep threat. He's averaging almost 21 yards a catch. That was for 8. Ike Charlton 23 on the stop. As we look now at the Seahawks, a much improved defense with the addition of tackles of Chad Eaton and John Randall. The linebackers very good. Kirkland in the middle has been terrific, and Chad Brown is always a standout. Springs and Williams at the corners. Curtis Fuller starts at safety along today with Reggie Tongue. Second down and short. Pitch comes near side, and here is Travis Henry from Tennessee, a rookie, and he moves ahead to the 45-yard line of the Seahawks. Tackled by Chad Eaton. Chad Eaton, number 9, he told us yesterday, Steve, our defense is the backbone of this team as we wait for the offense to mature.
Yeah, he's really correct in saying that as well. And for the Buffalo Bills, they've been maligned of late because they haven't handed the ball to that guy right there. They haven't stayed with the run game. Look for them to do that today, but to do it, they've got to get first downs.
Well, Williams has seen his team not run for good per carry average. This leading runner, Henry, only 3.2 a carry. Now they go to centers. Normally a pass catcher, and some good trap blocking up in front. Cracks open the Hawk defense, and there's a gain on the play of about 5 yards.
One of the things about this Bills team that has come to pass in the first half of the season is they've had about 7 or 8 different combinations of offensive linemen starting any one game. They have not had any continuity up there. It's because of injuries, because of poor play, and it showed in their offense.
It's been a very inconsistent offense. But right now, beneficiaries of penalties moving. Here's a blitz. Van Pelt looks. He's got an open receiver, and he throws to Price for a first down. Rice says forward progress was down to the 33-yard line, well beyond the first down marker. A gain of 8 yards on the play.
If you've had the chance to watch this Bills offense, you can already tell there's a different guy pulling the trigger. The ball comes out on time, and we talked to Greg Williams, the head coach. He said one thing that Peerless Price and Eric Moulds have noticed in practice this week, they'd better win their matchup because the ball is coming out.
Yeah, he's going to fire it right at his receivers and expect them to beat the defender. Very confident guy, Van Pelt, and he did have a great week of practice. And he's had some great moments. He broke most of Dan Marino's passing records at the University of Pittsburgh, did Van Pelt. Long ball going downfield to Moulds, and there's a perfect example, Steve, of throwing the ball even though there was tight coverage on it. And there's no penalty mark. I think Springs was afraid there was going to be
You're
one.
exactly right. And Alex Van Pelt told us that Eric Moulds is a guy that you can throw to when he's covered. Although you don't get covered by guys like Sean Springs every week. You see there, those two guys know each other very well. They play in the Pro Bowl together, and you know they're talking. Sean Springs said, we talk the entire game, Eric Moulds and I, and it's not always about football.
Yeah, calls him E. Moulds. There's a great pal of his, but not right now. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Bills. Handoff coming near side is Henry. He looks a first down. Ball's on the field, and the Seahawks seem to have it. Looked like it was recovered inbounds. It was. And so the Bills move the ball on their first possession, and then, like so many 1-7 teams will do as expected, they cough it right up.
After a good start and a couple of first downs, Travis Henry comes out, and you see he loses track of the pursuit behind him, and it always means trouble. You watch as Travis Henry comes through the traffic. Chad Brown hits it, and then the ball is kicked out to the sidelines where Ron Springs is waiting for it right there, and he does get it inbounds. Watch here. Chad Brown reaches back after the ball is past him as a heads-up play. Chad Brown's having a sensational year for the Seahawks.
He is. The Bills' 18th turnover. They're -9 in the turnover ratio. One of the reasons that they're 1-7. And here come the Hawks. 1st and 10. Hasselbeck takes a look, fires downfield, and it's a strike out to the 37-yard line, about a half yard short of a first down. Gain of over 9 on the play to Darrell Jackson. So we look at Matt Hasselbeck, the young quarterback from Boston College, who's coming off his best game. Had a QB rating of over 103 in that win over the Raiders, although his QB rating for the season is 66.
The pressure was really on him in the early part of the season, but with the emergence of Alexander, now he's had a chance to at least catch his breath, and you can tell he's more confident.
Game by game, getting more and more confident. And here's the handoff, and Alexander runs for a first down for the Seahawks before Pat Williams gets him down. As we look at an emerging standout offensive line, the left tackle Walter Jones got a perfect rating against the Raiders. First time in any Seahawks ever gotten that. Hutchinson's been terrific. The rookie at left guard, Tobeck, Gray, and Weiner. This is a very good group and getting better game by game. Alexander and Strong the backs, rookie Corn Robinson and Jackson the wideouts, the veteran Christian Fourier at tight end. First down, Hawks. Throw downfield, and that's timing throw, but there is a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
At this point, it's got to be against the offense.
Ball start. 81 offense. A 5-yard penalty.
Corn Robinson, the rookie draft choice, #1 pick out of North Carolina State.
You know, we talked to both these teams, Don, and it seems like both of them would really love to get off to a fast start.
Kendrick Office, free agent rookie, starts at defensive end along with Price, Williams, and rookie Aaron Schobel, a #2 pick. Newman, rookie Brandon Spoon, and Foreman back the line. Good corners out of Ohio State and Winfield and Clements. And here is the handoff, and they stick the runner. John Alexander is driven back and down by Sean Price. So that brings up 2nd down now and long for the Seahawks.
You know, the Seahawks feel like they'd like to get off to a fast start because they have really had trouble coming to the East Coast. Whenever a West Coast team comes out to the East Coast, they have to take an extra day of travel because of the time change. If they didn't, if they traveled just the day before the game, it would be like playing the game at 10 a.m. and that is really difficult to do. That time change, I think, is really a huge consideration that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, it's a big one, and of course they tried to offset it. Holmgren brought his team in on Friday. They worked out here yesterday. Alexander, boy, they're shooting gaps. A good defensive game plan. Pat Williams makes the stop.
And you talk about this team. This guy, Sean Alexander, has exploded. And you see, this is the game he had last week. And this is some pretty stellar company. O.J. Simpson, Walter Payton, Corey Dillon, who's probably an elite back who's in his prime. And Sean Alexander, in his first extended action, has stepped up to the plate with all of those guys. And that's why the Seattle Seahawks feel like maybe they're on the cusp of a playoff run.
Now they're 4-4, but scheduling's in their favor. Now at needing 17, Hasselbeck makes a throw, and he had nowhere to go. Very nearly intentional grounding.
That was an excellent play by Hasselbeck, though, and that's exactly the kind of thing Mike Holmgren wants to see from him. Sean Alexander got snapped off on a screen pass. The defense saw it, and you'll watch here as Alexander right there at 37 will step out to the left, and the defense is already there waiting for him, and Hasselbeck knows enough just to get rid of it. Don't make the critical mistake.
So Hasselbeck, number 8, goes to the sideline, and ready to punt the ball now is Jeff Fiegels, the 14-year veteran, hits the ball well downfield. Backpedaling to the ball is Peerless Price, starts inside his 5, a great punt by Fiegels, and the Bills are knocked down back inside their 15-yard line. So their second possession of the day starts from deep in their own end, a 60-yard punt and a 7-yard return. We're back at Ralph Wilson Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. Bills with the ball, and backup Van Pelt at quarterback, who said he wants to be methodical, run a lot of plays, move the markers, control the ball. They did that in the first drive, and then they had the fumble. Here's a throw and a drop at the 29-yard line by Eric Moulds. Came in a bit to his wrong side, but a very catchable ball.
Yeah, Eric Moulds has got to help out more than that. Alex Van Pelt took his time, had plenty of time on the play action pass. And Eric Moulds has got to come up with his catch. You'll see him here coming in from the left of your screen. Van Pelt puts it right where it's supposed to be, and Moulds running through the coverage just can't get stopped and turned enough to catch it.
So that brings up 2nd down and 10. Ball positioned at the 13-yard line. And very nearly another fumble by Travis Henry. In fact, the Hawks signaling they have it. Apparently Henry got it back, but they might have to get him out of there, Steve.
That's
2 carries and 2 fumbles.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that has happened, Buffalo has decided they've got to stay with the run game. They're going to have to do a better job up front if they want to be successful. That's Antonio Cochran just bursting through the line of scrimmage. He had nobody to stop him, and he did fumble that, and it bounced back up into his stomach. The Buffalo offense has got to get on track. Alex Van Pelt right now is the best thing going.
He's really got to come up with a big play here. 3rd down and 16, throwing from his end zone. He dumps it over the middle to Larry Centers. Centers is taken down at about the 18-yard line, way short of a 1st down. So the Bills will have to punt from deep in their own end as Anthony Simmons makes the stop after an 11-yard gain.
This is the offensive coordinator for Buffalo behind the gentleman in the headset there in the blue top. He's been a little bit maligned. This is his first year as a full offensive coordinator in the NFL, and like everybody on a new job, he's going through some growing pains, and along with all the other guys on his team, the young players especially.
It's a young team, and they certainly are going through some pain at 1-7. Here is Mormon punting the ball for the Bills, a guy who was cut twice by the Seahawks. Running it back is Charlie Rogers, and he gets it out to the 48-yard line. So the Seahawks have good field position to start their second drive after a 41-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Bills offense on the sideline going over the game plan. Travis Henry with 2 fumbles so far in the game. 1 lost, 1 recovered by Henry. Here's a pitch back, Alexander. They love that pitch to the side of Walter Jones, with Jones and the great rookie Hutchinson blocking. And there's plus yards in the play, about 6. Log on to NFL.com and vote for the AFC and NFC All-Stars to play in the 2002 Pro Bowl. Vote now only at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com. Tackle on the play was by Big Pat Williams. But they're so strong, Steve, on that left side with Jones, the only Seahawk offensive lineman ever to be voted to the Pro Bowl, and Hutchinson, who's going to be there a lot of times in his career the way he's starting out. There is Alexander caught at the line, and he's going to be short of a 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd and very short as a rookie Tyrone Robertson, number 92, got him down.
And you see there Buffalo starting a new defensive front with Aaron Schobel and also Kendrick Office in there. You see that's Tyrone Robertson. They shuffle guys in and out all the time on those front four, and they're getting a luxury in a 1-7 season, Don. If you can have a luxury, you get to see a lot of young guys and what they can do.
The white jacket, Jerry Gray, a former NFL standout with the Rams, who's the defensive coordinator of the Bills. Now Hasselbeck's in trouble, gets the ball away, and does a good job getting rid of the ball before he is sacked. As the heat was on Hasselbeck from Eric Flowers, a former #1 draft choice out of Arizona State, who so far hasn't delivered for the Bills.
And this is one of the things where Mike Holmgren is going to be a little bit more happy with Hasselbeck. This is a time when he would try and make a play, take the sack, wouldn't throw it away. That play alone, and plus the first series when he threw the ball away, it really shows signs of his development. I think that picks the whole team up, even though it wasn't a great play.
That it was a good enough play to get him stopped, and Fiegels will now punt for the Hawks, angling near side, a good directional punter. He hits it towards the near sideline. Look at that downing of the ball inside the 3-yard line. Brilliantly done by the Seahawks. Is down to get the ball was Paul Miranda, and Ike Charlton is going to get credit for it. Both of them right around the ball. The Bills get it again, but they're deep in their own. Tasker back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. No score in the first quarter with 5:03 to play. But field position swinging the way of the Seahawks after the fine punt by Jeff Fiegels, who's the NFL's all-time leader in punts downed inside the 20. 336 of them inside the 20 in his career. See who misfired here. Was it a false start?
Encroachment, 90 defense.
You call it on the defense.
You'll watch here's Chad Eaton now. We sat down and talked with him yesterday. That's a guy tough to line up face to face. Watch here. He bumps off Billy Conity and then just he has to stand there. He doesn't even just push you over there, take the penalty. Here we go.
That makes it first down and 5 from the 8. Travis Henry, did he bobble that again?
He did bobble it again.
Yeah, there is it some difficulty. Well, the other handoffs were clearly in his hands, and he lost them. That looked like an exchange problem.
Well, I'll tell you, Don, when it starts to go downhill, sometimes a young player has a trouble getting himself out of it mentally. You'll see here. We'll see if the exchange is clean, and it doesn't seem like he ever got it. Bounced off his chest, and you know, you'd say, okay, it's a backup quarterback. Maybe the exchange is different, but they've worked on that all week in practice. There's no excuse.
Fumble down here could be a killer. As the Hawks are the better team, if they jump out early, it could be awfully tough to get. Here is a throw near sideline. It's incomplete, and the Bills are going to end up punting very soon from their deep in their own end zone unless they can convert this third down. There's Rob Johnson, who suffered a fractured clavicle last week.
Yeah, and what you can't see there is his arm is in a sling, and this is a guy that has been sacked a total the most in the NFL, 31 times. And when you get sacked that many times, Don, you end up standing on the sidelines with your arm in a sling.
And most discouraging about Rob, he is 9-18 as an NFL starter. He hasn't delivered for the Bills, and a lot of factors go into that, but he certainly doesn't get the ball away as quickly as Van Pelt's been doing it. Third down. Van Pelt, the Bills need 6. And again, a whistle stops play, a penalty marker thrown before the snap of the ball.
This is you see there the official relaying it to the referee. That's a false start.
81 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still third down.
That has been a chronic problem for the Buffalo Bills, especially in crucial situations like a 3rd and 6.
Why is it a chronic problem?
That's a lack of concentration. You get young players who aren't sure, and I'll tell you what, it happens a lot more on the offense of this team than it does on the defense. The verbiage of this offense is so big and so extensive that it starts to confuse guys in the huddle, and they start thinking about things and they forget what the snap count is. It's that simple.
That would indicate to me, Steve, you ought to start simplifying things.
You're exactly right, Don. I agree with that.
You guys are out there getting whacked in the head. You can't give them too much to be thinking about. Here is a throw downfield. Going for the ball is Price, and he is screened away from the ball very nicely. Tongue was running with him along with Willie Williams, 27. So good defense by the Seahawks will force the Bills to punt from their own end zone.
And that's one of the things about this offense today for the Bills. The wide receivers have to win their matchup because Alex Van Pelt is going to get rid of the football. And you'll see there, that ball was uncatchable. Peerless Price could not have gotten to that football, and that's why there was no penalty.
Here's Morgan punting from the end zone. Hits a high punt. Seahawks are going to get good field position as they fair catch the ball. Man, that was nearly a fumble. It's jumping in front of Charlie Rogers was Bobby Ingram. It's the Hawks ball when we come back. After a 34-yard punt that was fair caught, the Seahawks again improve field position to start a drive. This time they go from the Bills 38, 1st and 10.
Yeah, the kicking game for Seattle has dominated the field position battle thus far, Don.
Eagles has been terrific. Hasselbeck looking to throw on 1st down, rolling out, takes a look, fires downfield, is caught by Atula Mealy, a guy who makes only his 7th catch of the year, but he already has 2 touchdown catches. Very nicely done by Hasselbeck on the rollout.
And one of the things about this Seahawk offense, and lately I think Mike Holmgren has limited their formations and movements, and now that Matt Hasselbeck has shown he's not going to make the critical mistake. Get him out, let him move, and let him look down the football field. A lot of quarterbacks are very comfortable doing that because it gives him a sense of safety as they run away from the pursuit.
And he showed good mobility. A big guy at 6'4", almost 6'5". Here's a handoff, and looking to turn up is Sean Alexander. Last Sunday night against the Raiders, the Seahawks had almost 500 yards offense, 497 to be exact. Today their offense far below that, just 38 yards so far. And a starting tackle's already out for the Bills. Jonas Jennings with a re-aggravated foot injury.
And that's something that the Buffalo Bills cannot afford. Their offensive line has had 8 different starters at offensive tackle, and now it's going to be another different guy in there. Greg Williams has got to be shaking his head over the bad luck that has hit the Bills.
2nd down. They need 13. Quick throw, incomplete, as going into the middle of the defense into a dangerous area was the rookie Corin Robinson, and Keith Newman shaking a finger at him. But don't come in here, son.
I used to be a wide receiver, and I'd like to, criticize Corin Robinson for not catching that ball. I just can't do it. I mean, that's a tough thing to do. Reach out there knowing that you're going to get pancaked if you do make that catch, and that's football, and you're supposed to make that as a receiver, but. I've got too much scar tissue. It's too bad for him,
It's a tough place to go into the teeth of the defense. 3rd down, Hawks need 13. They go to Alexander, bouncing outside, and again the Bills play good run defense, and they stop Sean Alexander, setting up a relatively long field goal try. Antoine Winfield was the guy who made the stop, number 26, who was actually the backup at Ohio State to Sean Springs of the Seahawks. Tonight on 60 Minutes, who watches the Border Patrol while the Border Patrol is watching the border? Unhappily, whoever it is not doing a very good job of it. It's all tonight on 60 Minutes. Now the field goal kicker, Ryan Lindell, 11 of 17 on field goals. This is a 41-yard attempt. He booms the ball straight down and true, and the Seahawks take the lead 3-0 on a 41-yard field goal by Lindell. So Seattle will kick off when we come back to Orchard Park. The Buffalo Bills have been outscored 62-16 in the first quarter this year, Steve.
It's not getting any better today. They've got to make sure handoffs, make some 1st downs, or it's going to continue against the Seahawks today.
Lindell powers the ball downfield. It is taken inside the 5-yard line by Nate Clements. Clements breaks it outside. The #1 draft choice out of Ohio State with an excellent return out to the 32-yard line. A return of 29 yards by Nate Clements.
We saw a moment ago as Jonas Jennings was taken off the field, the left tackle. These are all the guys that have had different starting jobs at left tackle. These are the guys at right tackle. These 3 guys down here have been pretty solid. But you can see the problems they've had on the corners, and it has shown. And we talked a little earlier, your quarterback sitting on the sidelines with his arm in a sling. That's one of the reasons why.
And they put in, Steve, John Fina, the 10-year veteran who's been a standout, but he's playing hurt. They didn't want to use him if they could help it. Handoff, and they have a new running back in, which isn't a bad idea. Sean Bryson, and he busts it. A much bigger back than Travis Henry. Bryson at 235, runs for 8 yards.
And Bryson is a guy with a lot of physical tools. He's very fast as well, but you can tell this is something as Travis Henry now comes back into the game. There's no question they're making a statement about Travis. He has dropped the ball twice, lost one of them. He's almost bobbled a handoff. They've got to do some things to get this team fundamentally sound.
Now Travis Henry's back in there, number 20. He's run the ball 6 times for 3 yards and has fumbled twice, losing 1. Here is a flea flicker. Van Pelt's in trouble, and he does the right thing, gets outside the tackle box, throws it away as the Seahawks had excellent defense. Everything was covered, and on the blitz, Anthony Simmons was coming hard.
For a play like this to work, the one thing you have to remember is one thing. You have to fear the run game if you're the Seahawks, and they don't. They had both receivers down the field double covered. They knew that the front seven was going to stop the run. Nobody was peeking, trying to jump in on the tackle. They all stayed back. Both receivers were covered.
Alex Van Pelt, 31 years old, in his 8th year with the Bills as a backup. He was waived by the Steelers in Kansas City back in '93. Has for over 11,000 yards at the University of Pittsburgh. Breaking so many of Marino's records. Here's a throw and a catch and a bobbled ball after he catches it to Jay Remersma, the tight end, normally sure-handed.
Yeah, Don, this is you talk about fundamentals in football. It's tackling, it's blocking, it's exchange. You just got to catch the ball, and when you catch it, hang on to it. When they hand it to you, hang on to it. When you have a block, stay with it. And the Bills aren't doing any of that right now.
The Bills demonstrating not a lot of discipline on offense. Their defense has been standout. Here's the punt, hit downfield by Brian Moorman. And a fair catch is signaled for and made back at the 18-yard line by Charlie Rogers, who's back in the lineup for the Seahawks after some injury problems. A 44-yard punt, and as you saw, no return. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores, highlights, and the latest NFL news, plus a CBS News update. America fights back. Seahawks now, they have so many good offensive linemen. Todd Weiner, who's starting at right tackle, they're 4-1 since he's been starting for Mike Holmgren. So it's been hard for McIntosh to get back in there, former #1.
And lately, Mike Holmgren's been working on one thing, and that's keeping his calm when things aren't going well.
Here is Alexander breaking in. It had to happen to Sean Alexander, who had 7 carries for 13 yards. All of a sudden breaks one for 21 yards.
This is just tremendously well blocked up front by the right side of the Seahawks line. Watch here, Alexander will just take a counter step and then follow his fullback, Max Strong, right up inside. Bang, cuts off the block, and then it's just up to the defensive backs to latch on and try and drag him down.
And a big block by Hutchinson, who pulled and blocked, and now Alexander runs again across the 40. And on first down carry, he's ahead. Let's see where they're going to spot the ball, about the 42, as the tackle's made by linebacker Keith Newman. There's Walter Jones, number 71, and the man he blocked for. They love that pitch play, pitching it to Sean Alexander. Behind the left side blockers, Jones and Hutchinson. The first quarter winding down and out. Second and 7. A throw and a catch and a first down out to midfield, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. A 9-yard gain to Corn Robinson. The end of the first quarter with the Seahawks leading 3-0. We'll return to Ralph Wilson Stadium right after this message. Matt Hasselbeck at quarterback for the Seahawks has hit 3 of 6 passes for 33 yards. And now again he starts a drive in very good field position with his team up 3-0. Alexander bounces wide, and the Bills get him down. Nicely done. Jay Foreman gets him down. Let's find out what's going on with the Browns and the Ravens as we go to Jim Nantz in New York.
Well, Cleveland leads at 3-0, Don, but Shannon Sharp has his record career catch, number 663, breaking Ozzie Newsome's mark. Most career catches by a tight end. That football is going to his grandmother, Mary Porter, down in Glenville, Georgia. By the way, the Ravens were stopped on the goal line on 4th and goal from the 1. Let's go back to Don and Steve.
Browns play good defense. And obviously, Shannon Sharp plays great offense. Here is a swing pass to Sean Alexander. And his first catch of the day is a head for a gain out to the 44-yard line of the Bills. A gain of 5 yards on the play before 330-pound Pat Williams ran him down.
You know, the thing that defenders have said about Sean Alexander, including the Raiders team a week ago, and his teammates, they use a word to describe him that you rarely hear used for a running back. They say he's clever with the ball in his hands. They don't say he's fast or physical. He's clever. And that's the most interesting thing I've heard anybody say about Sean Alexander.
This is a euphemism, or another way of saying he's smart. Here is a third down pitch. They come to the near side, and Alexander breaks it. First down and more. And Sean Alexander out of the University of Alabama in his second year. Got his shot when Ricky Waters went out with the injured shoulder, and he runs for 14 yards before Eric Flowers gets him down. Little known fact about Alexander, his brother played for Notre Dame. Not football, he played drums in the band.
Watch here as you'll see Buffalo is going to blitz off the right side of the offense, and what that does is it opens up the defense. They think they've got this broken loose, and the blocking is out to the right where the defense is weak. A great play call versus a corner blitz off the weak side, and the Seahawks make them pay.
Alexander comes out for a breath. He's starting to get numbers now. 11 carries, 53 yards. Here is an end around. Darrell Jackson runs, and he fights down close to the 21-yard line. Darrell Jackson with a good move as a 9-yard gain on the play results.
And you talk about guys like Alexander and the things that he has brought to the table. This is a guy that sat behind Ricky Waters for a long time and didn't make a peep about not playing. And that's the kind of production he's put out in consecutive games. 319 yards. That's a bundle, Don.
Unbelievable. He only started 5 games prior to today, and he already has the best rushing day in Seattle history and 2 of the top 6 rushing days in the history of the franchise. 5 starts, he got that. Max Strong, the big fullback, runs the ball, and he cracks the 20-yard line and gets a first down for the Seahawks.
And I'll tell you what's happening here, Don. The Seattle Seahawks right now are getting down in the huddle, and they're looking at each other saying, man, we've got them. They cannot stop our run game. And when you can't stop a run game, you are defenseless. I don't care what 11 guys you've got out there. You are not going to win the football game unless you can stop them. And they can't right now.
No, they cannot. They're coming off the ball, big and strong and well coordinated. The offensive blockers for Seattle. Play fake. Hasselbeck takes a look, swings it near side, and gets Max Strong. The big fullback from Georgia crashes down close to the 10-yard line, an 8-yard gain. Nate Clements upended him, but now the Seahawks looking to take command of the game early.
And you see the Seahawks, they hand it off, get yardage, hand it off, get yardage, reverse and get yardage. They pitch it out and get yardage. And then Matt Hasselbeck, you think he doesn't appreciate this as a young quarterback. All the pressure is off of him. The running game is clicking. Just dump it to the fullback, and all of a sudden now you've got some confidence even as a passer because of your run game.
And the confidence in his passing game, Steve, is showing in the numbers. He's 5 of 8 throwing for 45 yards. As again, the Seahawks go to power. Moving behind the left side, Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson in the center, Robbie Tobeck, and they get a first down.
One of the things about this Seahawks, you talk to him, they've got some young guys on their club as well. It's Steve Hutchinson, the 76, the left guard. You know, you stand next to this guy and you think, what is this, a 10-year veteran here? I mean, this is a guy that came into this league, and the way he carries himself and the way he has prepared himself during the year, everybody in the organization has been impressed.
He is impressive. You see him in the lobby, he makes the all-pro team. Here is a swing pass. Alexander is taken down on a terrific open field tackle. Coming up to make the stop was Keith Newman, young linebacker out of North Carolina who saved a touchdown. Be second and goal from about the 8.
And he's trying to find Sean Alexander. When you've got a guy like him, find different ways to get him the ball. I think Matt Hasselbeck, I think, is, when you watch him play, we watched him earlier in the year in a bad game against the Raiders the first time they played, and he is a completely different guy now.
His confidence growing. Well, he had the terrific game last Sunday night against the Raiders. Huge victory for the Hawks as the pitchback goes to Sean Alexander. He takes a stick. Coming up hard to drill him was number 28, Travaris Tillman, starting at safety.
We sat down with Matt Hasselbeck yesterday. As you see there, Pat Williams shaking up a little bit. We sat down with Hasselbeck yesterday, and he said, when we get down close to scoring, the thing about the Buffalo Bills red area defense is it's a bend but don't break defense. You can kind of get some good plays, but they're not going to let you in the end zone.
Talking to Steve Sidwell last night, the defensive coordinator for Seattle, he said we're really matching offenses. We both play the same offense, so we practice against this. We know what to expect. Welcome back to Ralph Wilson Stadium, and are joined by the man of the day, Jim Kelly, for 11 years the standout quarterback for the Bills. This is Jim Kelly Day. He's go up on the Wall of Fame.
It's a sad state of affairs in the NFL.
Right now we go back to the field. We'll be back with Jim in a moment as the Hawks are threatening to score. Here's Hasselbeck taking a look, making a throw. Touchdown, Seattle. As coming down with the ball is the rookie Corin Robinson, and the Seahawks take a 9-0 lead with the extra point coming up. So you guys were teammates together, Steve Tasker and Jim Kelly, on those 4 American Conference Championship teams. Lots of memories.
Lots of memories for me. I know. I
mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, you see all the great names up there, and just to play with a guy like Steve and all the guys that came in, you know, Thurman and everybody. So just an honor to be here and be a part of this. I'm pumped.
What could be a big year, Jim, as you're of course now eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We'll find out more about that I guess around the Super Bowl time, but lots of good luck there. Seattle taking a 10-0 lead on an impressive 82-yard drive. 13 plays. The payoff end was Hasselbeck to Corin Robinson from 7 yards out. Now the Bills will get it. Here comes the rookie Nate Clements, busting across the 30-yard line. Another good return by Clements. He's out to the 32. A 17-yard return where the ball is positioned.
Well, this is the touchdown a moment ago as Hasselbeck drops back. You'll see Corin Robinson right into the back of the end zone. And that's a great throw. And we spoke to Matt Hasselbeck. He says, you know, the offense is a little bit black and white now. Coach Holmgren tells him if it's there, you can throw it. If it's not, throw it away. Don't try to improvise. Don't make any decisions on your own. And Matt Hasselbeck is playing very well with those rules.
Well, he's 5 for 5 throwing in that drive. It's a pretty nice catch, too, by Robinson. Excellent catch. Van Pelt looking long. He's got a man open in Moulds, and Moulds has the ball. Eric Moulds is inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. So the Bills come back and hit the big play. And Curtis Fuller finally got him down, but Moulds, who's been quiet this year, makes a big play.
Well, Eric Moulds working right against Sean Springs, and you'll see here Springs tries to grab him. Moulds just runs away from him, and you can bet they're going to be chirping at each other after that one. Moulds, and we asked Sean Springs yesterday, okay, Sean, if you and Eric ran 10 routes against each other, how many times would Eric get open? And Sean Springs said none.
Jim Kelly, you, of course, Van Pelt backed you up for a number of years, sir, so you know his game well.
Yeah, he does. And one of the good things I liked right there, they started out, they threw the ball, plus they had good field position. I felt sorry for Alex the first part of the game. He is backed up so far, but the key with Alex is getting a little confidence. And I told him yesterday, I said, why don't he get some quick hitters, a 3- and 5-step drop, get not only confidence in yourself, but try to get some of the confidence in the guys up front, because they really haven't been scoring that much.
That's exactly right, Jim. And one thing that also does is make sure everybody gets involved in the offense. You can get the ball spread around, and the defense has to be spread out with it.
Well, right now we have a timeout called on the field. So we'll be coming back with the Bills driving on their first big play of the day.
ハードルオフェンスをね、結局
一世を風靡しましたもんね。
クォーターバックがプレーをコールするというね、これ素晴らしい離れ技のようなね、オフェンスをやってましたよね。
Greg Williams sees his team finally get a big play. Now, Jim Kelly, here they are in good position in the red zone. What do you call here?
Well, I have Lofton split to the left, Andre Reed in the middle, and Tasker out to the right. I'd definitely be throwing the football.
All right.
You got to hit Reimers, but his cover 2 looks like too deep. Try to go out and up, hit him in the post for 6.
The tight end down the middle, huh?
Exactly.
Reimers position to the left, number 85. He's blocking right now. There's a throw by Van Pelt into the end zone. Touchdown to Peerless Price. Okay. The Bills come right back. All right.
There it was. The post in the middle wasn't quite the player I wanted to catch it, but Peerless needed some confidence because, he came out with some big plays, but he's had some drops, but good job. They hit the perfect zone right in the middle.
Touchdown catch of the year. His 23rd catch overall. A rising player.
Jim, talk about what a throw like that will do for Alex Van Pelt's confidence right now.
Not only that, but the throw before that, the long one, the Moulds, you get confidence in yourself. That's why we tried to say, try to get some quick hitters, but a touchdown pass there, big time for our boy Alex. Good job.
So the Bills strike back with some big plays. Van Pelt throwing on the payoff end. They'll kick off when we come Buffalo Rome. They're here in the buff as the Bills just go 68 yards in 3 plays. You like those kind of drives?
You just handed me this card. It said 3 plays, 68 yards. We were used to that all the time, weren't we, Seth?
That's like the old days when you were around.
Boy, that just brings back so many memories. I'm happy for Alex. It's something, both Steve and I were talking about. We needed that. He needed that.
You guys didn't even need 3rd downs. Used to do it in 2. Here's a kickoff now downfield. Oh, and that skips off the hands of Charlie Rogers. He's got a problem. And Charlie is knocked out of bounds inside the 15-yard line as the Bills are energized on special teams.
Well, we saw a moment ago on the touchdown, Alex Van Pelt to Peerless Price. I don't care what he says. Jim didn't call this, but here it comes right down the middle. Alex Van Pelt will drop back in the pocket. And one of the things he does, watch this, he'll look back to his left, then come right back to the right. Peerless Price makes a great catch.
The key to that, Sev, as you well know, is when you're dropping back, you got to keep that free safety to the one side when you know you're going to come back. So great job.
Okay, that's enough. We'll see you around, Jim. Jim's going to be leaving the booth right about now.
And he's a big part of the halftime today as the handoff goes to Sean Price, and he's taken down in about the 14-yard line. Jim, great to be with you.
I appreciate it.
And we'll see you at the halftime.
Sev, as always, buddy.
Good to see you, my friend.
See you guys later.
Aaron Schobel on the tackle. Jim Kelly Day here in Buffalo, as Jim was an 11-year member of the Buffalo Bills, their all-time leader in every quarterbacking category, and of course the only one to direct his team to 4 straight American Conference championships.
And my friend this year is now eligible for the NFL Football Hall of Fame as well.
You, of course, Steve, were here with him every step of the way for those great years. And now a hard throw by Hasselbeck skips off the hands of usually sure-handed Darrell Jackson.
Well, the Seahawks right now, came in, they sat on the bench for a little bit and watched their lead of 7 evaporate to 3 really quickly. An important thing to remember for the Seahawks right now is they made 82-yard drive a moment ago by handing the football off. There's no time to abandon that now. Give the ball to Sean Alexander and dare the Buffalo Bills defense to stop him.
Well, he was stopped early in the game, as you know, Steve, and then he started to put up numbers. He's now carried 14 times for 59 yards as Sean Alexander. On 3rd down, Hasselbeck with a throw and a catch. And the stop is made very close to the marker, but short of it. And the Seahawks have to punt from deep in their own end. Monday on CBS, it's a night of great television with all new episodes of The King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear and Monday's #1 comedy Everybody Loves Raymond. Then don't miss Ted Danson and Becker, followed by Family Law. It's all here Monday on CBS. Jeff Fiegel standing back inside his tent. So now, Steve, we see the field position game starting to change.
Yeah, what Seattle had dominated early on in this game now seems to be turning the way for the Buffalo Bills.
Fiegels with a knuckleball hit end over end. And it takes a good roll for the Hawks as it'll be down inside the 35-yard line and all the way down to the 30. Down there by Alex Bannister. So Fiegels, the 14-year veteran, again does his job well. 49-yard punt and no return.
And Mike Holmgren now has to be thinking, you know, that's really the first time they have, since their first series, that they have been 1, 2, 3 and out. And you can see there, he's really struggling to keep his emotions in check.
Ball positioned at the 30. And let's see, that confidence thing you and Jim Kelly were talking about, Steve, I think could come into play because he feels better about throwing the ball downfield now, does Van Pelt. Tuesday on CBS, The Guardian is the most watched new drama of the season, and this episode will show you why. Simon Baker stars in The Guardian Tuesday on CBS.
We talked so much, Don, about confidence in this game. I think there's one guy on the Buffalo Bills who could use a little right now. It's not number 10, the backup quarterback. I think it's number 20, Travis Henry. He has not played well in this game and has had some trouble hanging on to the ball.
Well, Henry's the lone back behind Van Pelt. A quick out, nicely thrown to Eric Moulds. You talked at the outset, Steve, about getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and he's done that now.
Well, he had some trouble early on. Eric Moulds dropped one, but then he came back to him on the long pass play a moment ago. And I think more so than anything, if you want to get a feel for what kind of quarterback Alex Van Pelt is, watch him on the quick throws. He throws it, and it doesn't matter what's out there. The receivers find out very quickly that it's coming no matter what, and they battle for the football.
Moulds, a very strong player. Van Pelt was talking about that. He said he's one-on-one with a defender, and the defender's right with him. He'll take it away from the defender. 3rd down and short. Near side swing pass to Centers. He spins off, and he gets the first down. Fighting across the 40-yard line. Lamar King hits him hard. But Larry Centers, who's caught more passes coming out of the backfield as a runner than any player in NFL history.
Well, he's a fullback, and he comes out of the backfield. He catches the ball Watch as he comes out, and this is what it is in the NFL. Listen. You see there, that's not even the violence that was on the play. That was Chad Brown flipping Alex Van Pelt to the ground, and the contact was clear off screen.
Chad Brown, he's been delivering the goods in the NFL, first for the Steelers, now for the Seahawks for 9 seasons. 5.5 sacks this year. Here's Van Pelt standing in, takes a look, swings it out. That's Travis Henry. And he dives ahead and extends the ball out to the 48-yard line. Anthony Simmons gets him down, but it is an 8-yard gain.
Well, one of the things they're doing very well is they're coming back to Travis Henry. They're not going to lose confidence in him. You see there the first fumble they had, they lost that fumble. Then the near fumble, watches the exchange is fumbled, or he actually fumbles it to himself and comes up with it. And then a little later on, he actually had one fumble and got it back. I mean, this is a guy that has struggled early in the game, but they still continue to give him the ball. I think that's hugely important.
Right now, Ike Charlton's in a cornerback against Eric Moulds as they go to the run. Running hard with the ball is Henry. He's near the 50-yard line and very close to a first down. He needed 3. He got 2 or more before Reggie Tung got him down. But I don't know if Sean Springs is shaken up. But right now, he had last play, he wasn't on the field.
You see there is at the end of that play, John Hilliard ended up with that football, and the defenders know Travis Henry, you know, he's coughing the ball up, having a little trouble with the handle today. So even when they know it's not going to make a difference, even after the play, they'll still take it out of his hands to keep that in his thought, in his mind, that he's got to hang on to it. They're going to get the ball. They're trying to stay in his brain about fumbling.
Springs is having an ankle retape, so Charlton's in there in his absence. 3rd down and less than a yard. Van Pelt, 218 pounds, the man they call Pill, short for Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yes.
But he's got some power in that 218.
It's not the quintessential athletic build, Alex Van Pelt, but he is a competitor.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. You resemble that remark. And there's Sean Springs getting taped up.
Boy, there's a guy who can play football.
Oh, yeah, he's got speed. That's his game. He is a shutdown corner. When you're on him, you may well get shut down.
Of course, his dad, Ron, will stand out with the Cowboys as Henry runs hard, both arms on the ball as the Hawks really wrap him. Sean Springs telling us his dad, Ron Springs, never talked much about football when he was growing up. He talked about being good in the classroom. So football's not going to last that for long.
Well, it got him through Ohio State. I mean, he came out, and this is a guy that, one of the rare athletes in the NFL, when he came out of college, stepped right in and started. That says something about his ability.
He was the #1 pick of the Hawks back in. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights and the latest NFL news, plus a CBS News update. America fights back. I think Jerry's been going to Maurice of Madison Avenue. He's got that
Jerry's
very fancy haircut now.
Jerry's getting upstaged by Dion. He's got to bounce back. He's got to rebound.
Let's see if the Bills can ignite another drive. The Hawks dig in with their pass rushers on 2nd down and a long 8. Van Pelt takes a look, makes a throw, and a catch. This is Willis Price down to the 25-yard line. Willie Williams gets him down, but there's a gain of 21 yards on the play.
You see here, one of the things you notice about the Bills offense, and you talk to Greg Williams, the head coach, and also the general manager, Tom Donahoe, they have invested a lot of their cap money into playmakers on offense. Now, they've paid for it in their offensive line, but you can see when they have time, they've got guys that can play.
One of them's Van Pelt. Here's another throw and a catch to Reamers Mudds. He's down to the 15-yard line. So they're starting to give the Seahawks problems with the pass game. A 10-yard gain, and now Van Pelt, Steve, has hit 7 of his last 7 passes in a row.
And this is one of the things, too. Alex Van Pelt quickly calling the timeout. I think he has a very good handle on what happens at the end of a half and how to handle a clock and timeouts.
Friday, it's a holiday helping of the Home Depot SEC football when Fred Talley and the Arkansas Razorbacks travel to Death Valley to hook up with Rohan Davey and the LSU Tigers. For more, go to cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. It's amazing how even on the highest level of football, one play can change a game. And what really ignited this game for the Bills was the 50-yard pass on 1st down to Eric Moulds.
That's right. It got him a big chunk of yardage that gave him a chance to score. And that's, look at this, the 2nd quarter, that's been a huge difference from the 1st quarter. I'm telling you, Seattle dominated that 1st quarter, but Buffalo has hung tough, trails only by 3, and now has taken over in the second.
Van Pelt with 7 straight completions has now completed 10 of 16 for the game for 141 yards and the Bills touchdown. As with 121 to go, they look to see him possibly take the lead before halftime. Blitzers are ready to come for the Seahawks. Here they come. Van Pelt stands in, makes a throw, and beautifully timed. He gets it to Peerless Price down to the 5-yard line and very close to a first down. Reggie Tongue makes the stop, a gain of 10 yards on the play, and we'll see by the spot whether or not it is a first down. You see the clock still running.
The clock's still running. There was a tussle about whether it was a fumble or not. The official said he was down by contact. Now there's a little confusion. This is when Buffalo has struggled. They have not, at times, handled the clock well.
Bills still have 2 timeouts left. First down and goal. Van Pelt hitting his last 8 throws in a row. Another timing throw. Takes a look. Makes the throw. Incomplete at the 2-yard line. Good defense by Sean Springs. And Van Pelt, I think, looking for a pass interference call.
And so is Eric Moulds. You'll see here right at the goal line, right there, the big 24 right in your screen is Sean Springs, and Alex Van Pelt's going to throw that up, and look at that. He's got him by the back of the shirt, and that is pass interference. But you know what? He wants the flag. He's not going to get it. Those are the most frustrating ones, Don, for a player. The bang-bang plays that you know you should get and don't.
But you got to put it behind you. Now it's second and goal from the 5. Seahawks will blitz every down in this close. Here's Van Pelt rolling out. Loses his footing and gets the ball away somehow. Chad Brown is quickly at it, and you see Greg Williams call a timeout. They do with 27 seconds left, so it'll be third down and goal.
That was a trick play. Eric Moulds on a shovel pass, trying to sneak him in behind the offensive line, and Chad Brown stuffed it.
The first time the Bills and the Seahawks played against each other was back in 1977. It was hard to figure out who the recent expansion team was, as Seattle, new to the league, won 56-17. It's still the franchise record for points in a game by the Seahawks, and the 8 touchdowns allowed by the Bills, also a franchise record of dubious distinction. The Seahawks, of course, came into the league back in 1976.
And there's the guy, Jim Zorn, who had lefty, who was throwing those passes.
Now the quarterback coach. This guy used to leave the hotel throwing.
You know, one of the things too with Houston, the Houston Texans coming to the league as expansion. The expansion draft is a hot topic these days, and Steve Largent was an expansion drafted guy by the Seahawks way back when, and he went to the Hall of Fame. So there's some guys out there.
Seahawks have had great luck with free agent quarterbacks. Jim Zorn one and Dave Craig the other. Now it's the Bills and Van Pelt standing in. This is third down, a throw to the end zone, and it's incomplete. And it's ruled clean. No flag, as despite the protest of Peerless Price. So the Bills will send out their field goal unit.
And you'll watch this. Alex Van Pelt trying to go right underneath the goalpost as Peerless Price comes across the back of the end zone.
Wow,
and that's a good no call.
Yeah, that was really well timed by the defense.
Well defended. That is a great play in the back of the end zone by a defensive back. That's a good no call. Excellent call.
Jake Arians, who has the lowest success rate this year in the NFL kicking field goals, ready to try one. 25 yards out. He booms the ball up and good. And the game is tied. So the Bills rally back with 10 unanswered points to tie the game with, as you see, 19 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills, I think, are going to feel pretty good about where they're at. They came back. They were dominated in the first quarter, but have battled back to get it even. But in recent years, the Bills have really had a tendency to give up some horrendously bad plays in situations like this. And there you see Jim Kelly preparing for the halftime show with his family, as his name will be put up on the Wall of Fame here in Ralph Wilson Stadium.
The NFL on CBS renews a Thanksgiving Day tradition when Brian Griese and the Broncos rolled into Big D to meet Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys. It all begins with Jim, Jerry, Randy, Mike, Marcus, Leslie, and Dion on the NFL Today at the special time of 3:30 Eastern. For more, go to NFL.com. AOL keyword NFL.com. There they are, the Thanksgiving group. And right now, the Bills getting it together against a Seahawks team that looked like they might blow out Buffalo.
That's exactly right. And right about now, the special teams coach of the Bills is really tense because the Bills have given up some big plays at this point in the recent past.
They squib kick it downfield with just 19 seconds left, so it goes to an up back. And running with the ball and running very well as he's across the 40, inside the 30, and down close to the 28-yard line is Heath Evans. There is a blocking foul, though, signaled against the Seahawks. Back at the 31-yard line. It's coming back.
I saw you were looking sideways at me when I said they'd given up big plays, and there it was. Although this may come back.
It is coming back. So the field goal range that the Seahawks were in, now they're out of it quickly. Mike Holmgren, he warned his team. He said, I don't care what their record is. He was going into a 1-7 team.
Of the return team during the run back. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Their quarterback's hurt. He said, we better bring it emotionally because you'll get beat if you don't.
Well, it's almost a cliche. As you see there on the right there, you see the hand around the back, throwing the coverage man to the ground, and that was the penalty. Clear back inside the 35-yard line.
What a moment for Heath Evans, the rookie fullback from Auburn. He ran that back 47 yards, all for naught. As now the game clock down to just 9 seconds, so will Hasselbeck air it out? No, he will not. He'll play the numbers right, play it cautiously, take a knee, and go to the locker room with this game just like it was at the outset, tied up, only this time at 10-10. So the Bills, falling behind 10-0, come back to tie the game. Seattle 10, Buffalo 10. Coming up next is the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local stations. Jim Kelly Day in Buffalo as he goes on the Wall of Fame, and as you mentioned, Steve, becomes the first Bill in the history of the franchise to have his number retired.
There's a number of the great players that he played with in the stadium today. James Lofton, Andre Reed, Will Wolford, Kent Hull, Don Beebe. And it really is for the guys who played on that team. Jim was really the guy that made it go, and it really is a family atmosphere here in this stadium with that team at that time. It was a special time.
Well, you were with him, Steve, for all those years. I think as much as his right arm and his play calling, it's his spirit. The guy really ignites not only a football team but a whole stadium.
He's really, for me, as what I do now, he's the yardstick I measure every quarterback by. He demanded his players play the best that they could all the time, and more often than not, he got more out of his teammates than they thought they had to give.
Well, there were great years in Buffalo. Now it's a rebuilding time, but it's good for the Bills to see Jim Kelly back and have his number retired. As we look at some first half highlights, early on it was the Seahawks who were moving the ball so well.
Well, Matt Hasselbeck behind the great running game. Matt Hasselbeck drops back and throws a great catch by Robinson in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. And then this play sets up the touchdown for the Bills. Eric Moulds working against Sean Springs. Springs goes down. Moulds catches it. That sets up the touchdown to Peerless Price. Alex Van Pelt looking to his left, throwing back to his right. Subsequently, the score, as Greg Williams watches on, subsequently the score was tied, and now we stand at 10-10.
And this is the first time, Steve, all season the Bills have not given up a sack in the first half. The Seahawks failed to sack Alex Van Pelt. You talked about his ability to get the ball away, and it paid off.
It really does, and it really lifts up the entire team because they know everybody, the guys running routes, their backs in the backfield, and the offensive line know that Alex is going to get the ball to somebody.
The Bills' first half possessions for a while after that early fumble by Travis Henry, it looked like they were in deep trouble.
Yeah, this is the real thing. The 3 and outs kill an offense, and that's one of the things that gave them problems in the first quarter. Of course, obviously, the fumble was crucial as well.
Well, Mike Holmgren talked to his team about the importance of emotion. So we're going to go into a very emotional day with the Jim Kelly number, all of that. You got to bring it. Now let's see what the Hawks do as they take the opening kickoff. Rodgers breaks it up the middle and gets out close to the 30-yard line.
We spoke to Mike Holmgren, and he said, listen, if you're going to be there emotionally, you've got to bring it. And in a day like today, when Jim Kelly, one of the all-time greats of this franchise, is in the stadium, the fans are absolutely beside themselves. The crowd at halftime, I'll tell you, in this stadium, the players could hear the fans down in the locker room, and they'll feed off that. When you come down the tunnel and the fans are jumping up and down, screaming crazy, it rubs off on the home team.
Here we go as Matt Hasselbeck looks to get the Seahawks back flying. First down throw. Timing throw. Goes in the flat to Sean Alexander. He's taken down after a gain of maybe a yard, if that. As the Bills were there to hem him in, it was Antoine Winfield that got him down.
One of the things about it, Don, you know, at halftime, both these coaching staffs had a little extra time because of the halftime show to put in some extra adjustments and get an extra level of communication with their players about what they had to do. And there is no more important possession in a ball game than the first one after halftime, and it's up to the Seahawks to make it count.
Well, let's see what they can do on 2nd and 10 now. And they're going to come out firing. Good throw, and the catch is made out to the 35-yard line. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5 as Christian Fourier with his 13th catch of the year. Nobody works harder than Fourier, particularly as a blocker.
Yeah, one of the things about this, that you get into a routine as a player. The players go in, they have certain things they do at halftime. The coaches have certain procedures that they follow in the locker room. That was all thrown out the window because of the extended halftime here today. It'll be interesting to see how these players bounce back if they come out a little bit disoriented.
Big down now. Hasselbeck 10 for 14, stands in, gets time, makes a throw and a connection. A first down and more is Bobby Ingram coming off the flank, moves to the center of the field, and they make a big connection for 21 yards on 3rd down. First down, Seahawks.
One of the things about Bobby Ingram, he doesn't catch a lot of footballs, but it seems he has the knack of making crucial catches at crucial times. 3rd down catches are always weighted with more importance, and Bobby Ingram seems to come through with those time and time again.
Ingram, the veteran, out of Penn State. 19th catch of the year was a big one, and now Alexander looking to turn wide, and he's taken down to the 41. Got a couple of yards on the play. The rookie free agent Kendrick Office, 77, tackled him.
Sean Alexander, no, when you've got a guy that, the thing about Sean Alexander, it's got to feel good as a running back when you go in, you've been carrying the ball 30 times a game, and you're in a tight ball game, you know you're going to get the ball handed to you. Your offensive line knows it. It's a really positive feeling in the huddle, knowing that you can make it happen.
Well, in this drive, that 3rd down throw certainly made it happen for the Seahawks. The 21-yarder. We'll see what Hasselbeck goes to here. Here's a blitz. They pick it up nicely. Hasselbeck throws, and it's caught somehow by Darrell Jackson. A terrific fingertip catch, and there's a penalty marker down.
Antoine Winfield got up from that thinking the penalty was on the receiver, looking for the flag, but it's going to be on him. He was on the ground when the ball was thrown out there, and you see there Dilfer putting his helmet on. Hasselbeck looks to have jammed his finger, or look, you can see him reaching at his shoulder.
Number 26. That penalty is declined. First down.
So you talked, Steve, about the importance of a good opening drive in the 3rd quarter, and the Hawks are having that right now.
You're gonna watch here. He comes off the line. You'll see there the extension of the arm. He looks, yeah, you can see why Antoine Winfield thought Darrell Jackson pushed off, but right there's the hit on Hasselbeck, and that you got to feel reaching inside his pads, feeling for the spot where he hurt.
But right now he's on the game, and it's first down and 10. Alexander looking to make a burst. He does, and Sean Alexander takes it inside the 15-yard line and gets it down to about the 13. A gain on the play of 14 yards and a first down for the Seahawks.
Well, that gives you an idea of why Sean Alexander is such a good running back. He is so patient behind his blocks. You asked him yesterday, Don, what's the key to a long run? He says, just following your blocks. You see there, he's following right up through the hole. Todd Weiner right behind, in front of him, and just picks his spots, runs around, follows his guys, and makes people run around the blocks to get it.
Second year out of Alabama. And the Seahawks now challenging to take the lead again. They opened up with a 10-0 lead, tied at halftime 10-10. And Hasselbeck, seeing something he doesn't like while deep into the play clock, calls a timeout.
And Hasselbeck comes off the field. You think he's going to go to the head coach? No, I'm going to my quarterback's coach. There's Jim Zorn who comes over. There's a guy that'll build you up and not really bite your head off. You don't always know that might not happen with Mike Holmgren.
Yeah, well, you know Zorn's going to have him throwing. Good stuff he loved to do and did so well. Here is Hasselbeck, open guy, and Alexander heads for the end zone. And is he in? He is not. No signal yet, but he's awful close, and he has, it looks like, a first down. A 12-yard gain on the play, so Alexander really just waited on the sideline, waited for the play to develop, and Hasselbeck checked his downfield receivers, then went to the outlet man.
And I think that's incredibly important that Hasselbeck waited, and knew where Alexander was. And I'll tell you what, Don, that looks like a touchdown to me right there.
Nate Clements knocking him out of bounds.
That's a touchdown.
The pylon is part of the end zone.
Yeah, if the ball hits that pylon before Alexander goes out of bounds or touches out of bounds, it should be a touchdown.
And the whole white line is part of the end zone. The end zone line, if you get the ball over any part of that. Handoff goes, and Sean Alexander takes it in. So the Seahawks on the 10th touchdown of this year for Sean Alexander, break the halftime tie and take a 16-10 lead. A very well executed and carried out drive.
It was an 8-play drive. They threw the ball 5 times, ran it 3 times. One was the last 1-yard run by Alexander, and this is the offensive line just pushes the defensive front of the Bills back into the end zone. An easy touchdown for the Seahawks.
Now Ryan Lindell in to try the point after. Strength of the Seahawks game this year is running. Hawks are 5th in the NFL in rushing, number 5 rushing overall this season. They come into this game number 26 overall in passing. They get it downfield with a mix of the run and the pass, and Alexander takes it in. Back to Ralph Wilson Stadium, where Sean Alexander, number 37, just got into the end zone for the 10th time this season. What a year he's having. Came in averaging 5 yards a carry. Today he's run the ball 17 times for 77 yards and a touchdown. And that 10th touchdown ties him with Curtis Martin of the Jets for the NFL lead in touchdowns. Ball comes downfield. Here comes Clements. Turning the corner. Clements looking for the sideline, and he does a great job getting it out to the 21-yard line, as the coverage was very good, led by Willie Williams. So now we'll see what the opening drive of this half for the Bills results in.
Well, we saw that the Seahawks made the proper adjustments and went bang, bang, bang down the field for a touchdown. Now comes Alex Van Pelt's turn to counter, and the proverbial ball is in his court now to counter the attack of the Seahawks and the score that they just put on the board.
It was 10-0 Seattle. Then the Bills tied at 10-all. Now Seattle scoring on their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Takes a 17-10 lead. Van Pelt 12 of 20 throwing the ball for 149 yards. Quick hitch, and they get it to Bryson, who busts open the defense for the moment, gets ahead for a gain of 13 yards and a first down. For the best NFL coverage on the net, including expert analysis and live scoreboards, go to cbs.sportsline.com or AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Ball position to the 33-yard line. Van Pelt, there's no question, Steve, he looks at a lot more receivers than Rob Johnson did when he was in.
Typically, that's what happens when a backup comes in. He hasn't gotten any comfort level with anybody. He spreads it around to whoever he sees. He doesn't have really a favorite yet.
Right now, he hands it to Travis Henry, and a good defense of the Hawks. Anthony Simmons, a man who can run and hit. He levels him right at the line of scrimmage. Big play by number 51, Anthony Simmons.
You said it, Don. He can run and hit, and that was a big play as he came out. Travis Henry trying to get to the corner, but Simmons would have no. He just outruns him to the edge of the football field, and that's a sideline to sideline linebacker right there.
One thing about the Seattle team, Stephen, we watched him work out over the weekend. This team has a lot of talent.
They got some athletes, don't they?
They got some fine-looking football players. Just look at the rushing and passing yardage breakdown. 2nd down and 9. Kelly on the sideline raises his hand, but the play's no good. Now the penalty marker comes in. Jim Kelly's coaching him from the sideline, but that play was incomplete as Willie Williams is called for a pass interference call. It'll be a first down.
Yeah, very late flag coming from back at the line of scrimmage. You see there, interestingly enough there, Don, that guy should have some experience in the National Football League. That's Steve Freeman, the field judge, number 133 there, who played 11 years in the National Football League for the Buffalo Bills.
And he probably might be the best safety the Bills have had. He was a terrific player.
Yeah, he was.
Seahawks fans might be a little.
Well, I'll tell you what, believe me, he's earned his way into the league.
Defense, that's a first down.
He spent a lot of time in the Southeastern Conference, and that was his no call there. And watch here is Peerless Price. That's a push on. That's a hold and a grab.
Question,
yeah. And the hold is what did it for Williams.
But I tell you, Willie Williams has been playing a very, very good game prior to that infraction. There's Steve Freeman.
Actually, he's still just in pretty good shape. I played with him his final year, actually.
First down on the penalty call. People jumping where they'd drawn. We'll see. As play is stopped by penalty markers. Bernie Kukar, the referee. Bills trying to sell something.
Yeah, the Bills were saying the man was in the neutral zone.
False start.
But no.
60 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jerry Ostrowski, ironically, Jerry, who was the false starter.
Now this Steve Freeman's a guy who played free safety and was never very big, but that's the guy right there. He threw 75 through 86 when I played with him, and he also played one more year with the Vikings after that. But that's a guy that you want to know what it is to be tough. He played with a dislocated ankle one time, and I tip my hat to him.
Was he hopping? How did he run?
I do not know.
Here's Travis Henry takes it out to the 44-yard line on first down and 15 play. And again, Simmons runs and gets him down after a gain of 4.
Yeah, these Seahawks are so athletic defensively. They get some. What they did was they've got these free agents that they brought in with John Randall, with Levon Kirkland, but they have sprinkled in some guys with Ron Springs that can just flat out run. They cover a lot of ground. Chad Brown is one of the most versatile linebackers in the National Football League, and you put him in with Simmons and Levon Kirkland, I'm telling you what, they are a handful.
Watch Germany at the bottom of your screen. Van Pelt told me yesterday the number 84 going in motion. But he really likes him as a receiver. Rookie out of Ohio State. Here's the throw, and the catch goes to Peerless Price. This guy has an engine. As Peerless Price takes it down to the 32-yard line of the Hawks. A big gain on the play, 24 yards. And on the tackle was Ken Lucas, number 21.
Once again, Alex Van Pelt with just enough time to let this route develop. You watch here, Peerless Price comes out, runs the 12-yard in, and Alex Van Pelt waits on him and puts it on the money. Peerless Price, one of the things that Sean Springs told us about these Buffalo receivers, one thing they all do very well is once they catch it, they can run with it.
Well, he's averaging almost 21 yards a catch, Peerless Price, having some numbers today. He's caught 6 for 87 yards. Here's the throw and another catch. Hawks hit hard, but the Bills move down the field, and this is the best the Bills offense has looked all year because Alex Van Pelt's at quarterback. 11-yard gain there.
You know, last 2 years ago, Doug Flutie came in for Rob Johnson, and it stemmed a huge quarterback controversy. And we said this about Alex. I said, what are you going to do if you come in and light it up for a month and there's another quarterback controversy? He says, listen, right now we're 1-7. We love that problem. It means we've won a couple of games.
Well, that's what Greg Williams told us yesterday at practice. He said, I want a quarterback controversy after this game. It would mean Alex had a big day. He's having a good day, but the Hawks lead the game. Here's a handoff, and hard hits put out. Somehow coming out of the pile is Sammy Morris, a second-year runner out of Texas Tech. John Randall and Reggie Tongue. It must have killed John Randall to have to sit out a game after 140 straight starts.
He took a rare day off last week, and he's back in the.
Nobody has an engine like John Randall. That's unbelievable.
Not only is it a fast-running motor, it's a big one. Look at him. This guy can bring it. He has been a fast motor. If he was a blast furnace, you couldn't feed him fast enough to keep him stoked up.
Well, Phil Simms told me he terrified him one day. They were meeting with him when he was with the Vikings. He kicked open the door and came in with a karate kick swing just for a grand entrance. Big John Randall. Now the ball is slapped back. As coming on the rush was Chad Brown, number 94, and Curtis Fuller was also on that play.
And one of the things that happens here, the left tackle John Fina just got run back by Chad Brown. You'll see this. Fina backing up, tries to get out very late and catch him, and leaves the opening there for Curtis Fuller to come in and slap the ball down. John Fina is really not healthy enough to be in there, but because of the injury to Jonas Jennings, he's forced back into the lineup.
And here now is the third down. Bills need 6. Lone back is Centers, a pass catcher. Quick drop by Van Pelt. He throws it to Centers. Centers breaks it down close to the 11-yard line and appears to have a first down. He gained 7 yards on the play, so the Bills drive on in what's turned into a very good game.
There's Alex Van Pelt coming back. He's just going to look down the field, sees what he thinks he needs to, and just throws it to Larry Centers. And Don, one guy that Greg Williams, the head coach, could single out above everybody else, Larry Centers, was a guy that they are so glad they got. He has made a difference in the locker room. Forget about all the catches he's had. he is a guy you can build a team around, and that's saying a lot for a fullback.
And you said he always catches with one hand in practice. He's that good a receiver. And off to center. He spins off and does get yards as he's inside the 10-yard line.
You're right, Don. I told you that he comes out to practice and they'll throw him 25 balls a day. He'll catch them all one-handed and never drop any. And I watched them practice Thursday, and a big ruckus broke out. They all started yelling and screaming because Larry Sanders had dropped a ball at the halfway point of the season in practice.
He hasn't dropped any today, and he leads the NFL with 9 third-down receptions, including the last one he had. 2nd down and 7. Ball's on the 8. Rolled out by Van Pelt. Taking a look. He throws. He's got a guy. It's tipped beautifully, and the Hawks break it up as the receiver was open, but Curtis Fuller again tips the ball. Fearless Price running along the back of the end zone, but the ball never got to him.
Yeah, it was a play action and the naked bootleg as Alex Van Pelt fakes the big hard sweep out to his left and then keeps the ball on his hip. Runs out looking for a receiver. Sean Springs and Eric Moulds were in a wrestling match in the corner of the end zone, so he has to wait on Peerless Price all the way across the field, and just underneath gets tipped before it can make the catch.
3rd down arises. 3rd down and 7 for the Bills. Here come the rushers. The throw, and it's knocked down. A terrific play as Chad Brown, dropping into pass coverage, knocks the ball down and forces the Bills to go for a field goal.
Alex Van Pelt grabbed his head with both hands after this play because he thought he had Larry Sanders right down the pipe, and he does. Watch Larry Sanders will come out, stop, and come back hard underneath, and that's the throw, a better throw, and that's a touchdown, and Alex Van Pelt knows it.
It'll be a 26-yard field goal attempt. Remiersma holds, and ready to try it was Jake Arians. Rookie place kicker, hit in the first half on his only attempt, and delivers again. So the Hawks lead is cut into now. It's a 17-13 game. The Bills kick off when we come back. Don Craigie with Steve Tasker back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Bills hit the field goal. Seahawks lead by 4. Short kickoff. It is fielded by the guy who did so well the last time he had the ball, Heath Evans, and he's going to go out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Reggie Germany was on the tackle.
どんどんと成長しているようです。しかもこうしていきなりもうそのシーズン1年目からどんどん起用されて、期待に応えられるっていう。
Back to Western New York. Earlier today, Jim Kelly got a beautiful new SUV on Jim Kelly Day, and this is what somebody gave Steve Tasker.
That's right. You can drive it home for $49.99. Just call me at BR549. Yeah.
That's such a bad-looking golf cart. It's a collector's item.
It's tough to be bigger than the game itself. It's a curse.
Was that somebody that didn't like you that gave it in? Here is Hasselbeck taking a look. Long ball. Going for the ball. Darrell Jackson, and he almost gets to it. What a play. Hasselbeck showing off for a long-distance arm. Nate Clemens running stride for stride with Jackson. Tried to get it all in one play.
It's interesting because we spent a lot of time with Nate Clemens, and we also sat down with Sean Springs. Both these guys. I asked Nate Clemens, is there anybody, a receiver you've seen yet who can get open on you or can beat you? And he said, no, I haven't seen him yet. Nate Clemens plays more defensive or snaps of any kind than any Buffalo Bill on the roster. He's on all the defensive snaps, all the packages, he returns kicks. He's on the field more than any Buffalo Bill, and it's his first year in the league.
That time they tested him. 2nd down and 10 comes out for Matt Hasselbeck as the pitch back goes. Alexander with a cutback move. Caught and hemmed in by none other than Nate Clemens. Now let's find out what's going on between the Dolphins and the Jets as we go to Jim Nantz.
All right, Don, the Jets defense comes up with another big play. They ran back an interception for a touchdown in the first half. On 4th and 1, Victor Green knocks it into the air and picks it off for the 2nd defensive touchdown of the day of a Fiedler pass. 21-0 Jets with only a minute 38 to go in the 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Don and Steve.
Thanks, Jim. As the guys were talking in NFL today, I mean, how do the Jets own these guys?
They do. They have got their number. It's almost comical.
They're going for an 8th straight win against Miami. 3rd down. They need a long 5. Hasselbeck steps in, and there's a penalty marker fired down at some infraction before the snap of the ball. Could be a false start.
I hate to say it, Don, but Walter Jones
71 offense.
just killed his
5-yard
perfect
penalty, still
average.
third down.
Yeah, he was. Here's a guy graded out 1,000% last week.
You don't
against
see
the
it very
Ravens.
often. There he is right there. That's the only mistake the guy's made in 2 weeks.
But it makes it to third down now in about 11. Or actually 3rd and 10. Third down. Bills line a 4-man rush. They come with that. No blitzers. Hasselbeck steps up and sidearms the ball to Fourier, who somehow catches it. Are they going to rule him down? They are apparently inside the 40. One linesman has it marked for a first down.
Now they put it out past the 40.
Now they're waving it off.
Now they're waving it off.
Life Larson, the big guy from Texas El Paso, put the heat on there. Number 97 on Hasselbeck.
Well, they said Hasselbeck, it got rid of it okay, but it must have hit the ground when Fourier brought it in.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass.
And Life Larson had to run him down from behind. And for all of that, it's an incomplete pass.
And so that brings up 4th down and 10, and the Hawks will have to punt the ball.
Now they're going to a little.
Their offense is still out there.
Yeah. And the official's going to go over and talk it over.
I guess they're going to. Oh, it might be a review of the play.
Mike Holmgren thinks it should be 3rd down, not 4th down. They must have. You can see there, Mike Holmgren wants. Yeah, and here's the angle right here, the top of your screen, right up here. Let's see if we can see it. Right.
Rule number 1: get the down right.
That looks like a catch to me. Yeah, you can see him get.
Look like Fourier too.
Challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Well, we'll see if they like that replay that we gave him, but it looked like a catch to me. Fourier got up, and as a receiver, he used to compete one-on-one with defensive backs all the time during practice. You could always tell when the guy really caught it. The receiver sells the catch. And you'll see once again up at the top, usually right there. Oh, he bobbled it, that's all. He just caught it. It looked like a good catch in that angle.
Boy, I'll tell you, and
we'll see if we can see it a little better here.
Cardinal rule broken by the defender, not touching when he was down, presuming that did that bounce in there?
No, I don't think so. I think he caught it with the fingertips and popped it up to himself. It looked like a bounce because when it hit his hands, it popped up like it was on the ground.
Might have bounced off his knee.
Yeah, I don't think that ball hit the ground.
This officiating crew has been really tested with some tough calls this past week. They were the crew that was in Nashville on Monday night when that wild ending to the Ravens Titans game.
And they're going to look now. They'll see the same views that we see. And you see, that's after the first tip. You see, he's already got the ball. You can't see whether it hit the ground before he got it.
Fourier's live. Clemens didn't touch him when he was down.
That's exactly right. He should have the first down. That's a catch. That is a catch. It hit his foot. That is a good catch. Fourier was right. I told you, the receiver. I told you, Don, the receiver knows. You know when he gets up, he sold the catch.
Trick catch. They count two.
That does count. They don't ask how. They ask how many.
There's Greg Williams out there trying to sell the defensive side.
Well, Greg's talking to
Kukar will make the pronouncement after checking it out.
Greg's talking to the wrong guy. The only guy that matters is the guy that's got his head under the hood. And that should be a good catch. And Mike Holmgren was right to challenge this.
Clock stop with 3:12 left to go in the third quarter. And Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks leading on the road 17-13. And if it is a catch, they have a first down. If it's not a catch, they have to punt the ball.
And this is the play right there. Hasselbeck does a good job just getting rid of it. And
Real
right
good.
there, you see it doesn't hit the ground, pops up. That's a catch. Give him the first down.
If the play goes with a catch, it's a 13-yard gain for the Seahawks.
And the ball will be spotted, I believe, about the 42-yard line of the Seahawks.
Yeah, you have to harken back what Mike Holmgren was talking about, though. You know, you're coming off an emotional win, and all of a sudden you go on the road, play a team that's really having troubles, 1-7.
Yeah.
Starting quarterbacks out.
It's all about the emotion you can muster.
After reviewing the play, there is not enough visual evidence to change it. It's an incomplete pass, 4th down.
I would have disagreed with that. I thought that was a good.
Well, you've been disagreeing with, and from looking at the replays, we can see why.
Yeah, it was a good catch. Christian Fourier's got to be upset. That's a stat that he loses. No, over here is Christian Fourier. Hasselbeck's going to throw the ball out there. Watch, this ball never hits the ground.
A stat that what kind of a team guy are you?
I'm sorry. You see, that ball never hits the ground. I'm always cheering for the guy trying to catch the ball. I mean, that was a catch and should have been a 1st down, and that negates a drive that the Seahawks could really use at this point of the game, deep in the 3rd quarter.
And it does have to be irrefutable evidence, and Bernie Kuka, the referee, did not see irrefutable evidence to overturn the call on the field. Fiegels doesn't kick it far, but he gets a terrific roll again. Even when he doesn't hit it good, Fiegels gets big punts.
You don't kick in the league for 14 years without having a little something under your sleeve.
Very skilled directional kicker, hitting a knuckleball downfield for 47 yards and no return.
ないなっていう、はい、ホルムレンさん。タイムアウトはこれであと1つしか残っておりません。はい、というふうなことで、いやだから。
Christian Fourier, tight end from Colorado for the Seahawks, had his what seemed to be a catch overruled by not enough evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was incomplete. Here is a throw to Peerless Price. And a gain on the play of about 9 yards. Which 2001 original backup running back has the most superstar NFL potential? Trung Canada of the Rams, Sean Alexander, Stacey Mack, Troy Hambrick, Maurice Smith. I'll pick Alexander.
Mine goes to Trung Canada just because he'll get more chances to do it.
You wouldn't mind having either of them. Ricky Waters is getting set to come back, though. Ricky watching back in Seattle, chomping at the bit. His shoulder now strengthened after that injury against the Raiders early in the season. Travis Henry runs. Anthony Simmons makes yet another tackle for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Travis Henry having a tough day. Started out bumpy with the fumble and the bobbled balls, but they're still trying to get him the football, and it's important, especially at this point of the game, that they still stay with the run game. Obviously, Peerless Price and Eric Moulds have become to the forefront, but that guy has got to stay involved.
Well, so far, Travis Henry's run 12 times and has a total of 13 yards. That's how good this run-stuffing Hawk defense has been. Play fake. Here's a throw, and not close. Moulds is running a fly pattern, and apparently Van Pelt was looking for an out pattern.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication there. You rarely see Alex Van Pelt get disgusted with something, but that was, and he thought he was going to come back. You can see there he's tapping his own head, which usually says that he realizes he made a mistake.
Both quarterbacks getting well protected today. As you know, Steve, they came in being sacked a lot. Seattle quarterbacks have been sacked 31 times this year. Bills quarterbacks 32 times. No sacks in the game either side.
I think that's more of a surprise on the Buffalo Bills side because the offensive line of the Seahawks is very good. Fake punt.
Running with the ball and getting ahead for the 1st down. Sammy Morris up back to block. And so the Bills need to win badly. Go to the bag of tricks and come up with a 9-yard gain on 4th down from their own end. That would have been a knockout punch in this game had they given the ball up over.
Yeah, had they not gotten this or picked this up, it would have been big trouble because the Seahawks would have gone down and gotten some sort of points out of it. An excellent time for the call, but it is a risk, and they made it pay off. Sammy Morris, who is the normal fullback in the game in the punt formation. And that's a big, look at the reaction Greg Williams knows they needed that right at that time.
So the Bills, with the 4th down conversion, drive on. From their 42. Reverse. Here comes Peerless Price with Alex Van Pelt blocking. And Price gets across the 45 and out close to the 48-yard line. Sean Springs knocks him out of bounds.
You know, you run a fake punt like that, Don, and the only thing you really get you is you get you 3 more chances to go in, but also you got to do it against the same defense that just stopped you a moment ago. The Seahawks, you can see there, Chad Brown lunging to his right, and then with the speed and the athleticism of this defense, they close fast.
Well, last year the Hawks gave up more yards than any defense in the NFL. This year they come in rated number 11 overall. They were lower than that at one point. They've really improved the defense. 2nd down and a long 4. Out pattern. Moulds, he's tough. Eric Moulds breaks it for a first down. A good open field tackle by Sean Springs, or Eric Moulds would still be running. 6-yard gain. Watch Van Pelt on the previous play, the reverse, where he's out in front blocking. That's the end of the third quarter. Seahawks lead at 17-13. We'll be back after this message from your local station. We're back now, ready for the fourth quarter. Bills have the ball on the Seattle side of the field. Seahawks defense giving up a fourth down trick play as the Bills with the fake punt ran it for 9 yards and a first down as Sammy Morris, who looked like a blocker, turned out to be a runner on that fourth down. Van Pelt in trouble, dishes it off. Here's Centers, blockers in front. Larry Centers gets inside the 35-yard line. A gain of 12 yards on the play and a first down. CBS Thanksgiving night. The survivors are having cornmeal and muddy water. Be thankful you're not one of them. Don't miss an all-new Survivor Africa Thursday on CBS. Buffalo is 0-7 this year when trailing after 3 quarters. The Seahawks are 4-0, leading after 3 quarters.
Not a good stat for the Buffalo Bills.
Now, this game looked like it's going to be up for grabs till the end. First down. Van Pelt with the long count. Gives it to Travis Henry, and he shoots into a gap, and he's not done as he gets inside the 10, and he's going to be out of bounds at about, let's see, the 19 they're going to spot him out at. But he breaks a first down run, a gain of 16 yards on the play.
Well, that's what comes from just staying patient and giving him a chance to stay in the game. Alex Van Pelt has been effective in the passing game, so the defense has got to lay back a little bit. Travis Henry just hanging in there, just running hard. It's a great physical run by a young running back.
It was. He found a gap and shot into it. As we look at the yardage now in the second half, Bills with almost double the Seahawk rushing yardage. Again, play fake. This time they go to Peerless Price, and this with all that speed, Peerless Price, and now a marker is fired in. Could there be a blocking foul against the Bills for holding?
They're going to call Eric Moulds with a hold.
It'll negate a 12-yard gain. Huge foul.
And we've said it before this game, Don. The thing that has plagued the Buffalo Bills at critical moments in almost every game has been penalties.
Holding number 80 offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Hey, that's a Dennis Rodman! Hey, he just hooks and falls down!
You can see there, Eric Moulds coming out, tries to break down. He's got his hand outside, and it looks like Sean Springs lunged to make the tackle. But whenever a receiver has his hand up on the shoulder on the outside of a defender, they're going to call a hold. Whether he's got a good grip or not, or whether he gains an advantage or not, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what they did. And now the Bills find themselves with first down at 15. Back at the 22. Van Pelt, ball free. Bills have it, but Van Pelt was leveled. Blitzer came unprotected. Tim Terry, an outside linebacker, 59, with the first sack of the game, and it was an absolute tackling dummy sack. Never saw it coming, Van Pelt.
He had absolutely no chance, and I'll tell you what, it goes back to the same thing we said. That play, that blitz looked like it should have been picked up because there were 2 offensive linemen right inside and the guy inside. And you're amazing that Alex Van Pelt can pick himself up off the turf after that one.
Let's see what he does now. Second down. He's not going to take a lot of time. Downfield throw. Eric Moulds. It's too high for Eric. Bill Conity was the guy that got the fumble and kept the possession for the Bills.
As Greg Williams looks on, and sacked once every 43.2 pass attempts. The guy he took over for once every 7.3. And you want to know why a team is 1-7? There's a stat that will help you get there.
Well, Van Pelt had a great game when he came off the bench earlier this year against the Jets. He completed a lot of passes for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. And was just waiting for his chance. As we see the sacks, just 1 sack today. It was a big one by Terry. a moment ago. Third down. Van Pelt. Here's the rush. They go to a screen. Travis Henry. And good defense by the Seahawks make the knockdown at the 28-yard line. And that'll set up a long field goal attempt. John Randall and Sean Springs made the stop.
And the Bills able to attempt at least a field goal here after the bad hold penalty on Eric Moulds stifled the drive on a first down run inside the 10-yard line.
Now the hold will be at the 35-yard line, so it'll be a 45-yard field goal by Jake Arians. He is a rookie out of Alabama, Birmingham. And the Seahawks want to ice him a little bit as they call a timeout. Still a lot of time left, 11:36 to go. And Seattle continues to lead the game 17-13. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show. Bills setting up for a field goal try now after the timeout call by the Seahawks. It's going to be closer to a 46-yard attempt where the snap and set down are going to be. Remiersma is the holder. They have a new long snapper today. Snap and set down good. The ball is powered up and it's no good. Arians, the lowest percentage field goal kicker in the NFL this season, fails again. So the long Bills drive results in nothing at all. Hawks get the ball back. Outside the stadium, intensity inside as the Seahawks take over the ball after the Bills go 13 plays, come away with no points. Alexander running outside. Bills have him hemmed in, and there's a loss on the play. Watch the last field goal try. How can this guy be kicking in the NFL?
Well, Jake Arians comes up, and you'll watch here the snap is going to be perfect, and the hold watches the laces move out right towards the goalpost, and this kick is bad from the start. Absolutely wide right, no chance.
He's now hit 11 of 21 field goal tries. They cut Steve Christie, who might be one of the best kickers all time. He was hurt at the beginning. I don't know what the whole details of that, but it's costing him games not having him. Here is Hasselbeck running away from the rush. Takes a look. Fires over the middle and gets Fourier. And on second down, he's ahead for a gain of about 7 yards. It'll bring up third down and a long 3, almost 4.
That's a good example of Hasselbeck becoming a little bit more confident. Now, a week ago, he would have had to throw that away, but he had the presence of mind to step back and had confidence enough to do something you're really not supposed to do, throw the ball late over the middle. But you feel a little bit more better about him doing it since it was a very short pass to a tight end standing still.
He certainly is. You can see his progress under Mike Holmgren. Third down, a big one coming up. Hasselbeck with an open backfield. He's got to get it away quickly. Bills coming with a 4-man rush. Here's the throw and a catch and a first down for the Seahawks. Beautifully executed. Darrell Jackson coming off the left flank, angles in, and perfect lead on the ball by Hasselbeck, a 9-yard gain.
This is a great route on the outside as you'll see the receiver coming in. If you want to see a confident throw by a quarterback, that's it right there. And that will tell you all you need to know about how good Matt Hasselbeck feels about right now.
Game clock, as you see, 9:35 left to play. Hasselbeck sets his team first down and 10 with a 4-point lead. Alexander cutting back, and he's across the 45-yard line of the Bills and down to the 43. Wednesday on CBS, Garth Brooks performs for our troops live from the deck of the aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. Don't miss Garth Brooks live coast to coast Wednesday on CBS.
A moment ago, you saw Sean Alexander go off the right side, and I mean, the Buffalo Bills were pushed aside like a saloon door. I mean, he turned up in there into a lane and just had nobody to contest him.
Brings up second down and 3. Pitch. Alexander caught, breaks free, gets ahead for what looks to be first down yardage. He does. Gets to the Bills 40 before linebacker Jay Foreman gets him down. Last week we were in Jacksonville and we talked with the Cincinnati quarterback John Kitna, who of course was with the Seahawks in the recent years and played under Holmgren last year. Holmgren benched him, then brought him back to start. I asked Kitna what he thought of Holmgren as a coach. And he said, I don't realize till now how much I learned playing for Mike Holmgren.
He was very complimentary. That was a tough situation for a player to be in. Mike Holmgren trying to do some things, made a statement, benched him at one point, was never really sold out on him, but gave him a chance. And to have a player come back and say that about you as a coach, I think speaks volumes.
Here's a throw and a catch. Another good throw by Hasselbeck to Darrell Jackson, the second-year wide receiver from Florida, who last year with 53 catches led all rookie receivers in the NFL. 9-yard gain in that play.
You talk about Mike Holmgren, and as a guy who played in the National Football League, I had the opportunity to play under a good quarterback coach in Ted Marchibroda. And as I sat and listened to Mike Holmgren speak, he handles his quarterbacks the same as that great old coach did, Ted Marchibroda. He thinks about them the same way. He motivates them the same way. And I think that's why players thrive under him.
A quick hitter. They go to the up back, and it's a good for a gain on the play of about 5 or 6 yards and a first down. Read NFL.com for in-depth analysis from Marv Levy, Vic Carucci, and Phil Simms. The inside scoop all week long at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com. Yeah, I asked Holmgren when we were talking to him yesterday, Steve, as you remember, about what makes a good quarterback. What do you look for? And he said the big thing is the consistency of good decisions. That's what good quarterbacking is all about. Learning to see things and make the right decisions. Takes a lot of playing time to get there. Here's Alexander running again behind that powerful left side of the Seahawk offense.
Not only about making good decisions and doing that, it's not so much about ability, but it's also having a coach who puts you in a situation to be successful and you can get confidence. So with confidence, you feel freer to try newer things, gamble a little bit more in certain situations. Your confidence grows, and then the team starts to snowball around you. And pretty soon, like Mike Holmgren has experienced, you get a guy like Brett Favre, who's a 3-time MVP.
Yeah, he played under Mike Holmgren, did indeed. Now Alexander up to 97 yards rushing, and he goes over 100 with that carry as he's down to the 20, and the Seahawks with their running game controlling the clock as they run the clock down now to 6 minutes. Close to it. Price and Schobel were on the stop. Right now the game is in the power run game hands of the Seahawks.
Yeah, you think what's going to happen when Sean Alexander is lighting it up as he is, and Ricky Waters all of a sudden is ready to come back and play. And I think Mike Holmgren only now is beginning to realize, he really is going to benefit from having two guys healthy. The problem is, how do you keep them both happy, and how do you find more footballs to go around?
Here's a third down play. Hasselbeck with a quick drop, takes a look. He loses a receiver, now finds one, and it's almost picked off. As Antoine Winfield coming over, Lance Brown tipped it, but 26 Winfield was right there also. He was shooting at Darrell Jackson, and now the field goal team comes out.
Well, Darrell Jackson was running open for a moment, but as Hasselbeck tried to get it to him, you'll watch here, he kind of has to throw it because he's got pressure in his face and can't get enough on it to get it out there. And this is the kind of mistake that Hasselbeck made earlier in the year, and it cost him. That was not a pass that you wanted to make. Throw it away.
So they set up for a field goal try. It'll be about 38 yards in length, and will extend, if successful, the Seahawks lead to 7. 5:27 to play. Snap and set down are good, and so is the kick by Ryan Lindell. And the Seahawks build their lead back to 7 points. Seattle's Lindell hits the field goal, and he'll kick off when we come back.
どうしても
Mike Holmgren has to be well pleased. His team coming off that emotional win at home at Husky Stadium against the Raiders last Sunday night. Now they come on the road against a team he considered very dangerous, the Bills, and Hawks with a 7-point lead as the run back by Sean Bryson is going to be out close to the 30-yard line. The NFL on CBS renews a Thanksgiving Day tradition when Brian Griese and the Broncos roll into Big D to meet Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys. It all begins with the NFL Today at the special time of 3:30 Eastern right here on CBS Sports.
Well, Don, here it is. As far as the Buffalo Bills are concerned, there's 5:12 left in the fourth quarter. They're down by a touchdown. You do not want to get into the position where you have to have a 2-minute drill to win this game. Perfect time of possession. These teams have split, but because of the field goals, it's Seattle's ball game.
Kelly, who was on it today, had so many fourth-quarter comebacks, and Van Pelt looking for his first one. Here's a throw, and it is incomplete. It was tipped a bit by Peerless Price, caromed off Price's hands. Willie Williams got a piece of the ball. They're going along to Moulds pretty soon.
which is Alex Van Pelt trying to air this out. Just can't get over the top, and that's the most difficult ball for a receiver to catch, one that's been tipped right before it gets to you.
Van Pelt now, he is the man. He's got to crank it up and get the ball downfield as this Hawk defense digs in. They're starting to get more pressure on him as this game wears on. On 2nd and 10, Van Pelt takes a look, throws it to Centers, and Larry Centers is ahead, but a good open field tackle by the very quick Anthony Simmons. Results in a 6-yard gain. It would have gone for much more.
You know, we've talked about the basics and how fundamentally unsound early in the game Buffalo was. You want to see how sound the Seattle Seahawks defense is. You can tell when one of the Buffalo Bills players catches the ball and a Seahawk has an opportunity to make the tackle, he makes the tackle. They don't miss tackles, and that's solid.
Now a huge 3rd down comes up for the Bills. They need 4. Van Pelt looks, throws, it's incomplete. Levon Kirkland is flagged. It'll be a 1st down for the Bills, as the big middle backer had ruled and bumped into Jay Remersma before the ball got there.
I don't know about that one.
A tough call.
That was a tough call. You can tell even before the pass got there, Kirkland was trying to let up. Maybe it's because he was leaning on it or lost his balance.
99 defense. That is the 1st down.
Levon Kirkland listed at 275. Don, he hasn't been 275 since his 4th grade picnic.
Right.
But he's a great NFL line. You can see there his hands are on the back of Remersma.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah, and there he had his hands around him before the ball was thrown, and that's how you don't get separation. You just keep your hands on him.
On 1st down, they try a run, but a marker is thrown before the snap of the ball. A pre-snap foul. Conity protesting that somebody jumped in the neutral zone. Might be a false start against the Bills.
Yeah, they're a little bit upset about that penalty. I don't understand.
False start. Left guy of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Like Reuben Brown.
You see Billy Conley talking to the umpire, and we'll just see it right here's who it was called on. And the snap was late. Both guards and the right tackle took off before Billy Conley snapped the football. So I don't know. That looked like a good penalty call by.
It looked like a very good one. Like Conity didn't know the snap count on that one.
Maybe that's why he was objecting.
He probably grades out, though, as the Bills' best offensive lineman this season.
Well, he's been one of the only ones that's been able to play the entire season.
1st down and 15 for the Bills, down by 7 in the 4th quarter. Van Pelt, pump fakes, ball on the field, intercepted. Ball caromed off Van Pelt when he was hit, and Antonio Cochran, number 78, came up with the ball for the Seahawks. A huge play for the Seattle defense, and they take over the ball and maybe the game.
The relentless pressure finally gets to Alex Van Pelt as he steps up into the pocket. John Randall trying to collapse the pocket right into his face. Doesn't give Alex Van Pelt a chance to step up and get vision, and that allows the pursuit to come in behind and force the fumble.
The pressure came from the edges from Sinclair and Chad Brown, and Cochran. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker back at Ralph Wilson Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. Antonio Cochran, 78, was there to grab a free ball. It was actually looked like an interception. The ball never touched the ground.
Yeah, you're arguing about was it a fumble recovery or an interception? The Seahawks don't care.
They get the ball back. They got the officials going, but it looked like the arm was coming forward, and now the Bills come calling and quickly call a timeout with 4:07 to play. So a big defensive play by Bryce Fisher, who grew up in Renton, Washington, and went to Seattle Prep, number 95 from the Air Force Academy.
A moment ago, you saw Alex Van Pelt. This is the play. He's going to try and throw it. Is his arm going forward, or does the ball just pop out? I think it pops out as he got his arm hit. And it doesn't matter because the ball was caught in the air by Cochran. Whether it was a fumble or a pass, it amounts to the same thing, a turnover.
Saturday, join Jim Nantz, Tara Lipinski, Cal Ripken, and more for an uplifting celebration of athletics, heroism, and the American spirit that's emerged since September 11th. At the Aridi Awards, a sports tribute to American courage. It's coming up Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS. Well, the Seahawks talking about their defense being the backbone of the team. Chad Eaton said that, and they certainly have made plays today. And now the Bills are making them. This will be 3rd and long. Bills call another timeout as Sean Price makes the stop on Alexander.
And this is when you find out if you've got a really, really good run game and you've got a team on the ropes with the 4-minute mark. And there's a special kind of offense. You always hear a lot about the 2-minute offense. There's also a thing called the 4-minute offense. And that's when not a 2-minute offense, you conserve time. 4-minute, you use it up.
Thanksgiving night, it's a feast of great television. The survivors are having cornmeal and muddy water. Be thankful you're not one of them. Don't miss an all-new Survivor Africa. Then on CSI, how do you solve a casino heist when all your suspects end up dead? Find out on CSI Thanksgiving night on CBS.
Alex Van Pelt felt the pressure finally. Had been sacked once on an uncontested blitz, but that last one was the big one.
Big down now for Hasselbeck and the Hawk offense. 3rd down and they need 16. He gets some time, runs out of it, looking for a place to go. He's going to run the ball, and he goes down at the about the 33-yard line. So he did the right thing, nowhere to throw it, so he takes yardage on the run.
Yeah, you can live with that, Don.
And they're sending out Lindell for a long field goal try. Sean Price is down. Defensive tackle for the Bills, number 91. Lindell today is 2 for 2 on field goals from 40 and 38 yards. Here the line of scrimmage is the 33, so it'll be about a 50-yard attempt. Well within his reach. Lindell, a former Cougar at Washington State. Cougars got clipped yesterday by the Huskies in that Apple Cup game.
And there you see Sean Price, who's down on the field after that tackle on Hasselbeck, and you look back to that play and it's one more instance where you can see the development of Hasselbeck and making better and better decisions.
Leg went out on him, it appears.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Watch here. Right there. You know what? He's not hurt. He's stopping the clock.
Oh, you thought, okay.
There's less than, and it's a penalty if there's less than 2 minutes to go in the game, and it's an automatic 10-second runoff.
Details are sketchy. My first thought, a fainting spell.
I bet Sean Price comes back in the next series. Now watch, this is right there. Watch him. He knows what's going on. This is, and believe me, there you go. The old, that's Chuck Knox. Chuck Knox.
Somewhere Chuck Knox out
is smiling.
Out in the desert is smiling.
These two guys, I'll tell you what, the two trainers there helping him off the field, they look at him. He's not. They know the problem.
These are the words of a former Buffalo Bill and Tasker, pointing the accusing finger.
I never faked an injury. I had plenty to go around.
He's not getting. He doesn't need a lot of help walking.
See, look, see, they just turn him loose. Okay, thanks.
Well, those Hawk fans aren't happy seeing that. But whatever's fair.
Now,
whatever you can get away with, I guess.
He might have got clipped like before the play was over, and he was trying to hang it in for the end, but I don't know.
51-yard field goal. Still a lot of time left. Clock starts up again. 3:20 to play. Snap, set down are good. Kick is on the way. And it looks like it is good as Lindell hits a beauty. A 51-yard field goal. And the Seahawks build their lead to 23-13 with 3:12 left to play.
And he squeaked it through. And you'll watch as the kick comes through the upright. It almost looked like it wasn't going to be enough. It was going to be short and right. But you'll watch. And even the official had to change his angle. Just through and just over.
He's now 2 of 4 this season, Lindell, 50+.
He's upset about something. I don't understand
what. I don't think he was thrilled with something. I don't think he was cheering the field goal.
Something wasn't just right for Mike Holmgren. And I tell you, Don, I can't think of anything that you would be upset about. You just hit a 50-yard field goal to put it out of reach. And Greg Williams, and they're upset about something too on that last play.
Gary Gray protesting, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Definitely Holmgren, because call me old-fashioned, but that's not how you celebrate what might have been a locking victory field goal.
Yeah, you think?
Still not happy.
He's still, yeah. We talked to him yesterday, and there's been some things said about the fact that he's really doing his best to be more patient with Matt Hasselbeck and not blow his top and not scream and yell. And he said, I'm trying. But we also said, we talked to Chad Eaton, the defensive lineman, and he said, let me tell you something, the real guy always comes out.
You know we were 2 seconds over that way. Holtzman even knew they was over the plate.
Sean Bryson is back along with Nate Clements, awaiting the kickoff of Ryan Lindell, who's been a difference maker in this game with his 3 field goals and as many tries. Here comes Sean Bryson, and he's across the 25-yard line and out to the 26. Tonight on 60 Minutes, who watches the Border Patrol when the Border Patrol is watching the border? And happily, whoever it is not doing a very good job of it. Tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss in the new hit series, The Education of Max Bickford. Then Hallmark Hall of Fame presents a dramatic story of courage and romance in Love and War. It's all tonight on CBS. First down. Bills need big plays and in a hurry. Here is a swing pass near side. Centers, comes near side and gets out of bounds. Stopping the clock with 2:57 left to play. Willie Williams was covering him. 10-yard gain on the play. Next week the Seahawks go to Kansas City, and the Miami Dolphins come in here to play the Bills. Timeouts. Both teams were burning those early. They've been long gone for the Seahawks.
The Bills have one left. Yeah.
One, yep. Scheduling's with the Seahawks. 5 of their last 8 are on the road, including this one, but they have 2 games against 2-7 Kansas City. 1 against the 2-6 Cowboys as a throw goes to Centers, and he's tackled inbounds nicely. Sean Springs makes the play. So they're in this final stretch of the season. We look at the AFC standings overall. Seahawks.
And I think that speaks for itself. Seattle moves to 5-4, and that's huge in that division. They're right up in the thick of it.
Great division again. That division, and the last year the Seahawks will be in it with the realignment coming. So many years, 3 playoff teams have come from the AFC West. Here's a good throw down to Peerless Price. First down Bills. A 16-yard gain on the play. Reggie Tung makes the tackle. Bills quickly going into formation without a huddle. Looking for some of that Jim Kelly magic on Jim Kelly Day.
Well, this will be their last play before the 2-minute warning.
Go to a draw. Centers breaks it. Not for much. Then a good stick open field. Simmons, I tell you, he's played a whale of a game. Tremendous outside backer. Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks with a 10-point lead. 2 minutes to play. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Very effective quarterbacking by Matt Hasselbeck. 16 of 23, 138 yards, no mistakes, 1 touchdown.
And that's the most important thing. And you know, sooner or later, if he can keep this up as he did last week against Oakland and this week putting back-to-back games together, sooner or later he's going to start to do more and more, take more chances, win more gambles, and become quite the quarterback.
Here is Van Pelt standing in, downfield throwing. Price comes down with the ball to the 21-yard line. A 23-yard gain, a brilliant throw by Van Pelt, who's now completed 26 of 40 for 295 yards.
And that's a huge play. Peerless Price has been the go-to guy for Alex Van Pelt today.
Van Pelt again. Screens it off near side. Here's Larry Centers looking for blockers, and Centers works his way down to the 10. And the Bills get it all the way down to the 6-yard line. With 1:27 to play, but they have to score quickly and try the onside kick.
And they just took their final timeout.
And the Hawks have been so tough defensively when the Bills have gotten down close. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the Subway postgame.
And there you see Larry Centers being congratulated by his teammates. He set the yardage record for NFL running backs for career, 6,000 yards on 739 receptions done. Those are Hall of Fame numbers.
They sure are.
And he's been through a lot of bad years down in Arizona and suffering through another one here in Buffalo. That's not a great way to go out for a great player like Larry Centers.
The executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Terry Ewert. Today's game produced by Jim Rickoff, directed by Kathy Barretto. Associate Director Sean Gerchikoff, production associate Jason Ross. CBS statistician Bill George as the Bills set up now 1st and goal. 120s. Look at the jailhouse break. Throwing that, catching a touchdown. And the Bills are down by 4 with the extra point coming up. 6-yard touchdown. Great play by Alex Van Pelt.
That was an excellent drive by Van Pelt. Engineered very well. Good play selection and looking very good in the 2-minute offense. Judicious use of the timeouts, and every time that happens, you kind of look at your defense if you're the Seahawks and say, man, we're playing a little too soft. We're playing a little too soft. It's always okay to do that with a 10-point lead, not a 7-point lead.
Now, the extra point try by Arians. This guy's put excitement back into the extra points. He does drive this one up and through. And the Bills will have to get the ball back at an onside kick, and the hands team will be out there for the Hawks.
This is the touchdown. Jay Remersma coming off the left side of your screen. He'll just go out, turn around right in the end zone, and Van Pelt just throws the football as hard as he can right into the body. And they're still alive, albeit just barely. It'll all come down to this onside kick, Don, and I'll tell you, when you start talking about onside kicks, you've got a better chance of winning the lottery than you do recovering your own onside kick, but it does happen.
Look at Van Pelt's numbers. Here's a guy back up. They talked about the buzz in the locker room, the excitement over what Alex Van Pelt can do in running his West Coast offense, and he certainly has put up numbers.
I'll tell you what, though, Don, 41 attempts, that's too many to win with.
Now, Steve, you went to the Pro Bowl 7 times as a special teams expert. What's the key to getting an onside kick?
Don, I'd like to tell you there's a skill and there's all this X's and O's stuff. I'm telling you right now, it's luck. It's aggression and luck. The kicking team is going to come down there like their lives depend on it. And the return team, the best thing to do is to bat it clear out of bounds if it doesn't stick to your hands.
For the receiving team.
The receiving team, bat it out of bounds. Now, if it goes out of bounds without being touched, it'll be a 5-yard penalty, and they'll kick it again. But the Bills always do this. They put both kickers on the field. You don't know which direction it's going to go.
A trick kick.
There's
Nothing
a stop
happened.
and play.
Yeah, they waved it off. 1:23 left to play, so if the Hawks get it with the Bills and out of timeouts, they'll just run the ball 3 times, and the game will be over.
That gave the Seahawks a good look at which guy was going to kick that onside and where it was going to go.
I like what they're doing. A lot of teams now, like the Brazilian soccer team on free kicks, they position 2 free kickers. You don't know who's going to kick it.
Well, with a punter who kicks off and a place kicker, they both possess the skill to do an onside kick. Now you can see them, they're looking over the sideline. Do you want us to run the same play, or do you want us to run a different one? You know what I think? Since Mormon is the one who put the ball down, I think he's the one that's going to kick it.
Well, they're loaded up to this near side. Look at all the Bills coming down to cover. There's got to be coming this way. It is not. This kind of everything I just said. The Seahawks get the ball. Beautifully done by Sean Springs, who comes up and fields the ball. So they had the sure-handed Sean Springs there to make a very big play.
And they had some big guys right up ahead of him, clearing the way. The coverage team couldn't get to the football because they were blocked out of position, and it let Sean Springs catch that without too much pressure.
Ball at the 41-yard line. So Mike Holmgren, I mean, warning his team all week, we're going to be up against it against these guys. Don't look at that 1-7.
And now that's really the ball game. And all they have to do is kneel down and run the clock out.
This is a huge win for Seattle. I mean, when you come off an emotional win like that at home, make the long distance travel, there wasn't a lot to get emotionally ready about when you're maybe playing the Bills, but they did what they had to do and played a very good game.
And it also gets rid of some of the demons they've been carrying around with them. They came out to Washington after a good win in Denver and got shellacked by a bad football team in Washington. Went home, had the emotional win against the Raiders. Now they're coming back out to a 1-7 team back across country. The whole fear was that they were going to let down and go through the same kind of game they did in Washington. But Mike Holmgren, he told us, he said, I went to a couple of individuals, one guy at every position, and wanted them to say, handle it within your guys. Tell them not to let down.
Good point. They won't even risk the handoff as they down the ball. And there's Greg Williams, seeing his first team as a head coach falling to 1-8. A lot of close losses, tough losses. I guess most barometers would indicate they are getting better, and I think for the rest of the way, even with Rob Johnson due back in 5 weeks, they found their quarterback.
Yeah, well, now what they're doing is they're getting a look at a lot of players who normally may, if they were winning games, they may not try and make these changes, but they're playing a lot of young defensive linemen. They started 2 new safeties today. they're looking at some youth for next year. There's no question they're thinking about making themselves a better football team next year, not so much next week.
It was a battle, and Van Pelt played beautifully for the most part with 28 completions and 42 attempts, 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the Hawks offset it. Hasselbeck much more controlled passing, only barely over 130 yards passing, 16 to 23, but he was not sacked and he did not turn the ball over.
See, and you think about, you got a typical performance from Alex Van Pelt. Not too many mistakes, made some good throws, moved the offense, but he didn't get much help. The Seattle offense was very good. And you see those two guys.
There they are.
They battled all day. You'd think they had enough conversations on the field. What else would they have to say? They lined up against each other all afternoon, and Sean Springs got the better of it today.
Well, and they gained some retribution of sorts. Remember, the Bills went out to Seattle and really cleaned the Seahawks out late last season.
In the final game of the year, they beat them and scored 42 points on them.
So that'll do it from Ralph Wilson Stadium. Now for Steve Tasker, this is Don Criqui saying so long. Final score, the Seahawks beating the Buffalo Bills 23-20 as the Hawks go to 5-4 on the year, heading to Kansas City next. Coming up next on CBS, it's the Subway postgame show. You've been